something, man. Only God Almighty alone can come down, can tell me to my face, say Andrew Holness did win this election, yeah. You see, same way like how Donald Trump never win the election, Elon Musk thief election, give Donald Trump, because Donald Trump no win that election there. Same thing with Andrew Holness. Andrew Holness never win the election. You can remember election night, when them do the counting and everything like that. PNP in the lead, and all of a sudden, electricity just chip out and go away. You can remember that? And like this how the thief in the robbing happened. Feel way how Andrew Holness I treat the people in Jamaica. A whole on penny relief money when get forgive people them a turn up at NIS. And I go here say no money no day and they only spend 1.8 out of 1.44 billion dollar where they ain't get. And I turn with people from NIS and I tell them they don't have no more money to give them. New enough people to get back their roof. Right? Or get somewhere to live. And people say that I live on a tarpaulin. And you can't tell me say Andrew Holness truly win the election day. Andrew Holness take revenge just like how Donald Trump take revenge for the US people them. A revenge move them here. The man bitter. Starting with St. Mary. He never win his seat. Up at St. Mary. And see which party he start dumping people them? St. Mary. All in parish them. Where he lose, you know. Watch and see if I know them there. Him a target. For dash the people them. Revenge move him on the pan. The man never win the election. Only God Almighty alone can come tell me say 1 p.m. All of him see them, he lose them. And you tell me 1 p.m. He is the best prime minister for Jamaica. The Jamaican people them did vote him out. You hear? They rig the election. And that's why in a office same way. So you see everything where I'm doing right now. The angry man angry. The man angry. So you never choose him. You think about that. You hear? A evil you get right now because you did vote him out. You vote that motherfucker out. He did not win the election. And those are facts. If you can remember what happened election night with the electricity. Right? And a PNP in the lead. And all of a sudden, Andrew Holness win. And Andrew Holness lose all of him seat them. And get vote out. So I'm a target the Jamaican people them now. He must suffer uno. Must suffer uno under a hand. Because uno vote him out. And that are facts. Think about it. Have a nice day.
A blessed day, viewers and subscribers. And here we go on, guys. Everybody upset. And this is my final 2 cents on this. I'm going to keep on update with what I go on. Although it not mess up on the media. But guys, first thing first, I want to like, I want to comment. I said the last video, I see about 160 person comment, which my sister are in tune. And we can push up the likes so we can get more people to discuss this. And big up the people from overseas who tell me to touch the topic. A whole heap of people upset, guys. See me? If you're not upset, you're not commenting in the chat. But guys, I'm going to be honest here. I'm not going to play a political game right here. If I did PNP in power, comment, you think they would make a difference? You think they could have go against a United States order? We have to understand what's going on in our world, guys. There's a lot of bullying going on. We have to understand this thing I would say. We don't say yes. People are saying could I say no. Saying no, I go come with consequences. I don't want to come for me and say, my bias and way. Saying no to United States, to say no, we don't want them there. We don't take them. First thing first, man, go to check the root turf. Man, go to pull certain things from we, certain little things. I understand, because remember then say they don't want the Cuban doctor here now. We have to do what we do. We run them out of our country. So, I see people are blame. I'm not going to sit here and blame the government. I just blame the system or the system set. You can't say no. It come with consequences. And you have to understand that this country been bullying other countries all around the world. And Jamaica in a position to stand on them own. I don't know that too. So comment and let me know what you think about this. I don't know my type of show. I'm not really drawn out to them discussion about. Let me know. Anyway, I'm going to go and enjoy the piece of argument from my TikTok live. Yeah, so you don't know, so I do my thing over here. So big up on yourself. Want to comment below, tell me what you think. What you think Andrew should have said no? Or what you think, would it make a difference if it was a different government in charge? Tell me what you think. Be honest, guys, because I don't know the ball game. All right? We can continue to listen to this.
Yes, and they're single, yes.
So you would date back somebody where like...
If I would spin the block?
You and them break up?
There's a possibility, yes. There is a possibility.
And then cheat on you? And that's how the relationship did break up? Just tell me say you look some
I believe that I would have...
I saw some guy and you look believe it. But not tell me say a man hurt you. Jay by cheating on you, you would go back to him. He confessed him sorry and it was a mistake.
And maybe he has now demonstrated that he's a changed person.
No, hold on, Jody.
I disagree with you.
Jody, no, I'm not going for Jody. You may come for.
Tell me now, what am I doing?
It has to be one of her ex that cheated on her. Didn't you say sometimes relationships end on amicable means, meaning nobody has any animosity? Two people agree to separate because, for example,
you have that part.
it could be one of those exes that she would spin the block on and not necessarily cheating on.
No, you listen, she talked for herself. She said, yes, he can be changed. So don't come and change it for her. She's saying, point blank.
You have to defend her.
No, I'm not defending. No, there's nothing to defend.
No. Annie, thank you so much. Yes, I appreciate the support, but he asked me a direct question and I answered directly. So
you believe? So Jody, you believe like they can change like that?
Something in the back of my head would say that. Something in the back of my head would tell me that there is a possibility that because they have done it before, they can do it again. But the direct question that he asked is if I would spin the block on one of my exes. And I said, yes, if I'm single at the time, because that is just the truth. Like sometimes we don't want to say the truth because we may think that it will make us look bad. Right. But if you ask me a question, I'm going to answer honestly. Now, if I go back to the ex and he cheat on me again, I am mature enough to know that I have to deal with the consequences because I made that decision. But whether or not I would make a decision like that, yes, I would.
Read a Maxine, right?
Maxine said, I will never go over my vomit. Oh my goodness.
That's a very mature way of looking at it. But I think each and every one of us have somebody maybe in the past that you probably would consider if them trying to talk to you.
I'm not gonna lie, that is true.
Yeah, because sometimes there are people where we even break up with where we would have been at the wrong.
Mr. Ladies, depend on how the relationship
ends. It's not always the male that's in the wrong. Sometimes the female is wrong.
That's a no.
Yeah, suppose I mean cheat.
I think with the old spinning the block thing is the villain who is the one who always wants to spin the block, the one who know that they did you dirty and then they realize that you were like down the line, they realize you were a good option, so they try to spin the block. Is the villains the ones who did wrong who usually want to come back? The ones who know that they were...
I would say that either, Ali, I would say that this is what I would think,
Ali,
right?
Ali, right?
No, let's say that I am not the villain, Damien. Let's say the man cheat on me, right? Let's say that I had a man and he was treating me very good, meaning like him taking care of my bills. He's very consistent. He's always checking up on me. No, me just put it in the aspect of what people like, Damien. Just think about it like how me I say it, you know. Let's say you have a man that was something that you required and he provided that, right? But he cheated on you and you had a problem with the cheating and you left. But then you go outside now and you go pick up one broke man when I give you nothing and him still cheat on you. So you left him too. Then you may just go back to the one where did I give you something and cheat, because you say, you know what, if me I go take cheat, let me take the cheat from the one that's giving me something versus the one that's not giving me something. So it may just be that you left, but you realize your options out there are not better. So you spin the block. You weren't the villain, but you spin the block because you prefer to take the 80% person, then you go find 120% out of road. Put it that way.
You know, Ali, I got disagree with that still. I tell you, I'm kind of pick up Ali personality. Ali's going to disagree with it this time. You defend her, Ali, on this one?
Maybe just say something about money and stuff. I'm not really influenced by that, but I guess that's Jody's take, and I have to respect her opinion. That's totally hers. But for me, no. That's just personal.
But Jody, when you check out, none of them two men, they're not good for you, mentally,
That is true, but at the time I said you're single, you ain't got nobody, so you're just gonna work with what's working at that time.
And Jody, one girl tell me, one woman quote this out her mouth. She said, yo, let me tell you this. I not run up my body counter now. I say, why? She said, well, if a man I look at her, but she said, she rather go sleep back with her ex-boyfriend if she want a grind than go take up a new man. But she not sure. She said she know she go get with her ex-man. The type of person he is, etc. But she said when she take up a new man now, that is a total, she don't know what going to happen. So she just give her ex. When she want a grind, she call on her ex and give me. When her ex not mean like she have 10, 5, 6. She just say one particular ex. And I'm always ready for her.
See, I was just about to ask that, and I'm glad you mentioned what is wrong with just being single. Why all the way feel like double back to her ex and I do this with her ex?
No, she just deal with it for grind. She said she rather grind her ex than go grind a new man. Because she know she gonna get from
You
her
know,
ex.
those women who do that are very hyper. Is it hypersexual? Is that the word that I'm looking for? I don't know. But I'm very active because as a woman, once you're not active, then the urge to indulge it goes away. So you find that you're not active for a while, the urge to indulge it lowers, maybe not go away totally, it lowers. So you find that less and less you feel the urge to do that, especially you're not in a relationship and nobody in the around you and get your hours or whatever. So it's kind of weird that people, when they go to that point where once in a blue moon and they feel like them would have do something, them and look back on ex and I call her ex to that favor. I can't imagine somebody coming in my space for that and then them going back to them person where them appreciate and probably care about, and then now me going back to my regular little single life, so to speak. That's just something that I used to when I tell us that the whole friendship with ex thing in our work, because
What is perfectly fine, Stacey? Comment. What is perfectly fine? Want understand what you are saying?
the only reason why
Ali a Christian, so she not gonna agree
no,
with
men
them.
a Christian. The only reason why I think it's okay to reach out to the ex for that is because you never did friend in the first place. If you never friend, you would not think about fear reach out to him for that. Because you know keep this friendship going so you can use him and he can use you when you're not ready. Simple. If you never friend, you couldn't even cross your mind but reach out to whatever.
And yeah, and some of the time, some of them man they have them woman too, but they may jump the fence and go.
Exactly, and it works both ways. And the women them have them man too, but them go to the ex for fun because probably them enjoy it more with the ex and then they go back to their man. It works both ways. You see why the ex and friendship thing not work? Gonna come right back to a point where we reach now. Why
No,
it's
that's a different beneficial thing. We're not talking about that in general.
no over.
That directly, just for the purpose there. You deal with the extra. That's a different category of reasoning. We don't talk overall.
Yes, Danny, I agree with you. Laws and in certain time of the month, like ovulation and stuff, it increases and but it go away again. And if you're strong enough to hold it off, it will just go away. Trust it just go away like it never happened.
You know, so by nature, that never make you fight though. God permit that.
That's why we should be in relationships. I know we're not made to be alone, and your body
Yeah,
make
but
you know that.
if I go there with 3 man and all of them broke your heart and gone with them ago. You're going to take up number 4 for broke your
Yeah,
heart?
take up 4, 5, 6 till I take up the right one. Maybe I keep on I go back to you one them I already broke my heart from. Then I broke them
No,
heart
yeah, I
it
said,
again.
that's why if you stay for yourself, stay to yourself. But I'm saying you're going to need a man.
Is
We
it
don't
different?
need a man.
Different.
Nobody needs a man. Nobody needs a man. No woman
Different.
that needs
No.
a man.
One of the
Hold on,
things here.
Stacey. Hold on, the Michael. Stacey. You did
Good
say
night,
I agree with
everyone.
something. What was it?
Good night, everyone. No, I was saying
Oh, I understand.
to Ali when she was saying that women shouldn't go to like have like that one person who gives them their like little grand or whatever to get their thing for. I was saying no, that's the thing with this society. They shame women for enjoying sex. It's frowned upon for women to enjoy it. Meanwhile, with men, it's like it's applauded.
The playing field is never going to be level, Stacey, because if you ask a man how many women he's had, you'll probably become more turned on by the fact that he's had many women, but he'll be turned off by the fact that you have casuals with random people or just an
But
ex or so.
that's why it's not random people. That's what I'm saying, that the woman would double back to her ex, somebody who knows her body already. She doesn't have to relearn or teach somebody else her body what she likes. She goes back
Are,
to somebody.
when you get in a new relationship, are you going to tell your new partner that that's something that you used to do in the past? Are you going to let him know
You
you
don't
used
have
to
to
do
tell
That
your
would
Why
partner
would
her
you
that.
body
share
count wouldn't
that
have
though,
gone
You don't
up.
Ali?
have to
That's the
share that.
So
thing.
why
But her
do
body count wouldn't have
something
gone
that
up
you are?
because she would
Why
have
would you do
just been with
something
that
that you
man.
know you
But
cannot?
Ali, yes, preserve your body count.
No,
Then
let me hear what
too
Ali
much.
question. Why would you do
Why are
something that
you
you
going
know?
to do something that you are not going to talk about because you know it's wrong, and that's the
But
only
No,
reason you would.
Ali,
no, that's not
Ali,
what I'm
hold on,
saying.
Ali.
That's
Let
not
me
what
tell
I'm
you thing,
saying.
Ali. Hold
I'm
on, Ali.
answering Jody's question.
No, Ali,
I'm
but me just
answering
want to jump
Jody.
before you reach this, darling. You, my ask you this point blank. If you meet a man and he ask about your past, you tell him everything?
Thank you, Damon. You asked the right question because that's what I was gonna ask next.
No.
That's a good question. Um, everything in terms of what he needs to know that will affect
So
him.
no.
That's what I'm gonna tell him.
So no.
So the person that you're talking to need to know about all the partners that you had before, Ali?
That won't affect him. I'm no longer in contact or communication with them. How will that affect him? I'm gonna tell
Well,
him about
But
that
then,
goes
Ali,
with
you're
what I believe
contradicting
Stacy would
yourself.
have said then.
But
Then
then you're
we wouldn't
contradicting
share it, so
yourself.
then it wouldn't
I'm not
matter.
contradicting myself. You're not in a relationship. You randomly have sex with your ex. Sorry for about the S word, because probably enough to say that.
That
You
good,
get
that
in a
good.
relationship a month or two later. Now you have to cut out doing that with the ex. Do you tell your person that this is something you used to do, or you just do not say it? And how are you going to
Why
stop
would you
yourself from
say
Why would
going
you
it?
need
back
to tell
there?
them?
If you
But it's
move
something
on,
Or
that
you
we
don't
both
need to tell
have.
me
Why
I
would
are
that.
you
you
need
just
to
gonna
tell
stop
them?
yourself from
yeah,
going
because
back?
now I have somebody else to provide the service that the ex was provided, Ali.
Right.
You guys are so strong. Oh
So
my
it's not
God,
like
I wish I had your
it's not like
strength.
you're doing it with the both of them
Ali,
at the same
remember, so
time.
the relationship with the ex wasn't no serious relationship. It was just like a pleasure. That's it. And that's
Yeah.
time.
I mean, we should not
Familiar
leave out,
pleasure.
we should not leave out the same because here's one of the things that I tend to make an observation, and when it comes to women in that situation, is her attachment style. If she's attached to toxicity,
Yes.
if
Right back
she's
where to go.
attached to to being hypersexual, and she has little or no control, because like I
No
said now,
control.
my judgment is going to be based on how the relationship with me and her goes. So that is going to be my cue. What's our attachment style when it comes to sex? And therefore, on that basis, me can now make a rational assessment as to what is going to be likely if she goes back to her ex. Because women don't essentially change at core, They maybe
Nope, human
adapt to
beings
a
So,
different
don't.
bro,
circumstances.
what are we saying? Why would you tell somebody that you're going to start a future relationship with what can lead to? Why you have to tell them everything about your past? And that's what person make mistake. Do not tell your new partner too much about your
I
past.
agree with Damien.
They will
Thank
use it
you.
and
It
cut
will
you,
be
and
used
they will
against
use it
you.
back on you. You have
Yup.
to be careful.
Yup.
Can I
It's
say
not about
something?
this and that and whatever. You have to be careful. If me meet a girl, she not gonna know half Me
Thank
tell her
you.
what she need to know to make the relationship start. So.
Thank
More
you.
Yeah,
than
but
enough
remember,
if I
say,
go
what them
doing
say,
nothing.
a little information can be dangerous because, for example, you don't have to tell me everything for me can make a deeper reading into who you are, you know. So in other words, you can think and give me as much as basic as you think. When we don't think it through, you know, we can read it down a mile behind where you said to me, you know. So therefore, you'd have to know exactly the type of person that I am to tell me where you feel to tell me, because you can tell me something and think you're giving me limited information when what you say to me can make an interpretation on that and say, okay, if she think like that, then that means that. And then we do attachment, and then we do the calculation, and then we reach at a point where you are going to find something, you're going to ask a certain type of question where you probably are going to become uncomfortable with the answer. And you're going to say, how come me ask? How come you ask me that? And you're not going to realize that simply because of what you said to me. After me start to mull it through and think it through, me come up here ask you a question like that. So you now have to know if you determine that you're going to give me limited information, you have to be first of all it makes sense that you know me first before you give me some information, because trust me can use a little information and find out a whole lot of things. I'm just speaking for myself here though.
Can I say something to what you're saying? It sounds like if somebody were to give you a little bit of information, you would make assumptions. And there's a saying they say, when you assume, you make a ass of you and me. So you're not supposed to assume nothing. But to the point before what you were saying,
Well,
when you go into one second, let me finish. Let me land and then you're free to go. When you go into any
sure.
relationship, whether it's men or women, you're not supposed to tell them every single thing the person before did to you, because they will use that as a meter stick to see how far they can get away with what they
Thank you,
do. They will
Stacy.
use that as a treatment level. Oh, she accepted this treatment from this person. So guess what? I just need to treat her a little bit better than he did. And guess what? She's gonna love me to death because what? I'm not as bad as him. So when it comes to going into a new relationship, the way I view it is you highlight all of the great qualities of the person and you not highlight none of the two negative sides. Because guess what? If you highlight the negative side, or you say, oh, he wasn't this or he wasn't that, then I'm gonna say, oh, so me just have to be a little bit better than him. And guess what? Sugar things send me out of the world. And the same for women. If a man is in a relation or is trying to get into a relationship with a woman, and he now starts talking about all the things he did for his previous woman, him pay our bills, him take our yes, him take our dessa. You think so she go sit down and accept 50-50 from you? She go say, if you are doing it for this one, you can do it for me too. Or you know what? Because me they are so now you for do more than that. So whenever you're going into any situation, you're supposed to gauge it in a way where
Good.
you protect yourself. You protect yourself emotionally, financially, spiritually, physically,
Good.
all of them. So
That's a good
Right, but
point,
you're going to
Stacy.
give me that information on the
Can I?
assumption that I don't have any experience with women. Because remember now, you could be the 10 woman that is telling me the same thing. And it may very well turns out that my experience with those women is going to be the basis on which I'm going to make the assessment of what you said to me. So it's not like this is all fresh and new and I'm young and innocent to what you're going to say to me.
So
I
I
could
have
have
enough
gone through that a
experience.
million times before, gotten a different response and a different reaction and a different attachment style, depending on how the nature of the relationship turns out. So therefore, when I speak of making an assessment of what you say with limited information, it will have been born out of over a period of time of having certain experience. And therefore, that would be a more authentic source in which to make a definitive position and that as far as that is concerned. Because remember now, if a man makes a decision with a woman based on his experience with women, generally speaking, so you know the good one, the one where I try to trick you, the one who not really mean you no good, the one where I try to hide something from you. Over time, you build up these sort of things, and therefore it gives you some foundation to determine that this is the right type of woman. Because remember, if you and every woman I go tell you everything and you go accept it. So therefore, that's why I said it is key. Before you give me any information, try and know me as much as you can. Because if you don't know me, then you're not going to know how am I going to approach what you say to me. what I'm going to make of it, because you don't have no idea my experience with women, maybe women like you, who talk like you, who from the background like you, socialize like you, etc., etc., etc. So if that is absent, you are kind of in a dead zone, and I would be live because you'll be telling you'll be coming with the familiar, if you get what I mean.
So how do you get to know somebody unless you sit down and exchange information? Like how would somebody get to know you if you're saying, oh, you're not, before you divulge certain things, you're supposed to get to know you, Michael, right? How do you
Right.
want the woman to get to know you?
Well, I don't think there's a one fix for all thing for all women. Women get to know men in different ways. You women are, it's like a classroom. You have slow student, fast student. Students are just above average and below. It doesn't, one method doesn't apply to all women. But for the purpose of the question, not just communication, because people take reliance here, where we have to communicate is how and your why and your when. Because you can't want to know too much too fast. And then again, I'm not going to expect you to make certain important decision and limited information either. So it is kind of a little bit complex depending on the nature of the relationship and depending on the communication each individual and how they are related, their willingness to relate. Because let me give you a classic example. There are certain women who may just open up to readily and then know me in a day. All right, I'll take a lesser time for me. There are others who I'm going to be very reserved with. So it largely going dependent on your communication style, and then my assessment of what type of character I'm dealing with. So it's not fixed in stone to say, well, then stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. It doesn't necessarily work like that, because remember, you're always dealing with people who are thinking with ideas. So there comes the variation.
I want to ask us question, but it's like most of us, Stacy. I agree with you about not sharing certain things about the past with your present or your prospective partner, right? I totally agree with that. And it's the same with a job. You don't bash your past employer. It's just a thing. It's not even only for relationships. You just keep it positive. But let's say, right, you're going to a new situation and you'll be building something with somebody. Yeah, we don't know how long it will last, but I'm assuming we are going in trying to be going in with some level of integrity, so to speak, and to be a little bit honest. With honesty now, let's go back to the point where we're not going to talk about the negatives that occurred in the past relationship. We're not going to tell the new partner that, and we're going to leave that part out. We're just going to speak of positives. Of course, you probably want to know why you break up, because if the person was so good to you, why did you break up? And then we can probably make up something and just keep it surface and say a lot without saying too much, so you don't give him too much ideas. But for me, that's not an issue. If you are building a new relationship and this guy asks you out of the blue, our conversations come up, our adults, and he says to you, this, remember, I'm going back to the point where he said, we're guilting women for doing natural things like the old Smex thing with their exes. If this new guy you're so interested in him says, is that something that you've ever done, or would you do that? What would be your answer?
I'm going to tell you that you can't ask me that question.
Simple.
There's certain questions I don't entertain.
Right.
Exactly, because what's the purpose of the question? What is he hoping to gain from asking that question?
Exactly.
Like, are you hoping to gain if I were to say yes, it's something that I've done.
Stacey.
Is it something where now you're going to use that as a negative connotation and be like, see, you're just like them other girl out there? Like, what is the purpose of the question?
That's one way of looking at it. That's looking at it one way. All right.
So hold on. I'm missing something.
And if you're going to tell, if a man asks you a question like that, like you does whatever, and then you go and get offended and say, no, don't ask me that. Why would you ask me that? It is showed you're already defensive and show that
Ali,
No, Ali. No, Ali.
Ali, if me meet you now, Ali, I'm going to say this to you straightforward on TikTok. Excuse my language. Me meet you. Me and you have KFC or we have pizza or whatever. And me and you reason. And I say, Ali, you eat sausage? You know what I mean, Ali? You love suck sausage, Ali? Are you going to look at me and tell me yes? Are you going to
Nobody's
say the
gonna ask
question then and
anybody
repeat
that
that?
on the initial meeting,
And
but
lie,
I
you are
said
tell you'd be
getting to
surprised.
know.
Where you
No,
say, Ali?
I'm
Hold on.
mentioning with Stacey. What I'm talking about with Stacey, and that's why I give so much context before I ask. You're getting to know someone and you really like them and you try going with integrity because you don't know how long it's going to last. And the person asks you questions because remember, you're getting to know someone not asking another question, and the person asks you that. You go and blatantly get up, go say, no, don't ask me that.
I'm not gonna get
No.
upset. I'm gonna calmly tell you, Ali, that I would prefer you not asking me any question about any exes because I don't entertain exes question. I just don't.
Alright,
And I don't
alright,
want to hear about your ex
No man,
either.
what a girl is now go ask a woman about their ex. I'm go
You're
now.
right.
Okay.
I don't want to
We
hear
don't
about
ask
your
woman
exes
about ex
either.
now. We don't care about ex. We
Let
care
me
about
let me tell you,
individuals.
Ali.
I know, well, I probably that are going to
You
depend
care,
on
you
the
just
type of
don't know. You
relationship still, you
care,
know.
you just don't know that you care. You care about them, you just don't know that you care. And I can tell you that you care, you just don't know that you care.
Let me
So
tell
hold
you,
on,
Ali.
suppose me ask to say, is all or not all? Because here it is going to become now, you know. You're going to be like, because remember now, you know, if you give me half of the story, should I call you deceitful? Should I say that you give me limited information on which to make my choices as it relates to you? I mean, I can come to all of that conclusion. Which is it that
Deceptive.
you'd want me to come to? Because here it is now, you know. Suppose I say, okay, so you tell me that, and I say, well, my policy is all or not all, you know. So you make up your mind. So at that point, you're going to say to me, say, well, you know, I mean, what would your decision be? Are you going to say to me, well, you know,
Both.
I have 10,000 experience, but I'm only going to give you 1/3 of it at this point. So therefore, expect something to come later. Now, it can't be that you just naturally expect me to settle for that, because that just not may not be the type of person I am.
That's all
So
recharge.
therefore, at what point are you going to tell me that
Oh, the recharge.
you
Where are they
withheld
at?
information from me? Because remember now, you don't tell me anything, and the information that you give me is going to be
Everybody have do it
the
anyway.
information
No
that I
matter.
make a decision on. So if I make a decision on that information at some point, because you didn't give me everything, it worked against my favor, would you consider yourself being deceitful?
Of course, that's deceptive.
Can I?
Deceptive.
Michael, I would either I'm gonna say go and not entertain the conversation anymore, or I am going to lie to you and tell you what I think you want to hear.
But but
Okay.
but
Can I say
baby,
something?
remember we're in the process of getting to know. So we're talking
Okay.
about weeks in, possibly a few months in at this point. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we're not talking about first day meeting, you know. We're talking about a few
Yeah,
days.
it
The
doesn't
man
matter how
carry you
long.
a
I'm
couple
only gonna
times.
tell you what I want you to know.
Okay, perfect. So can I answer Ali? There, for me, I would look at it as there's two ways. There's honesty and there's transparency. Honest.
If you have
That's
person,
the Wi-Fi kind of.
Damien, mute. You disturb the
Oh,
conversation.
sorry,
Good
sorry.
going, guys.
Stop,
Stop up the
stop.
screen. Share the
Oh, sorry.
live. Good going. Good going.
Sorry, yes, there's two between honesty and transparency. Honesty is reactive. So if the person asks,
I want to talk. Somebody keep on drop
Yeah.
down.
Stacey
sorry.
Stacey,
Wi-Fi.
seems like she got a call or
Oh,
something.
Oh, sorry.
elevator Sheena, man. Elevator
No,
Sheena.
no, 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 no. I'm home. Sorry. No, I was saying there's a difference between honesty and transparency. Honesty is reactive. So if somebody asks you a question based on your integrity, you're going to want to answer honestly because you're starting something new. You don't want to start it based off of a lie. Whereas transparency is more proactive. So that's you saying to the person, listen, we all have a past. However, my past is not something I feel comfortable talking about. However, if you and I are going further in with this, we can now build a new thing, just a fresh slate. You don't need to know about past things. As long as, and when you say not going to affect the person, I'm not talking about when you live in wild and careless and it could affect your future going forward. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, you still need to be safe and protect yourself and all of those things. But going forward, you're telling the person, okay, transparently, you have a past, I have a past. Me not say I'm wild out or whatever, or me walk out, but it's not something I'm willing to talk about. And it's
Would
up
you
to
be,
the person that you're
And
telling now to either respect what you are telling them as somebody who you're just meeting or somebody that you're looking to build a relationship on, or if they're willing to continue going on the same topic about, oh, what about this person? What about that person? Then you already know in the back of their mind, they're not coming with the best of intentions. Because why is it so important for you to know what previous people have done to the person that you're trying to build
but
a
the
future
person
with?
is not previous, Stacy. It's not previous
Why isn't
people.
it previous? Why
Because
why isn't it previous?
you're still intimate with the person up until you got into this relationship. I'm not talking about your, all right, I'm not talking about 10, 20 exes behind 30 exes. We're not talking about that. I am not talking about a man asking you what's your body count and you have to confess, because that's supposed to be between you and God, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the situation where you go back to that one ex when you were single and you feel whatever, and then we get in a relationship and the guy asks this of you, and then you're hiding it. That's deceptive, and that means you were not necessarily you're not going to be honest with that person if you have to hide that. Um if somebody asks you something like that, I understand that's going to be an uncomfortable conversation to have. And that's where the problem is going to come in, because you're going to go in deceiving this person, concealing things that you don't want them to know, and
But
then
Ali, is there
further
an
down the
overlapping
line,
that's happening? Are they overlapping? Why? Like, I'm not understanding. Because if there's no overlapping,
It's-
it's a
I
past
think
situation.
she's
if
trying to
you
say,
are
Stacey,
messing
that
with
let's
an
say, for
ex, if
example,
you're
you were
messing with
talking.
an ex recently and just getting a relationship, I don't
So,
even need to
Ali,
say you're
you're
single
saying,
or
like,
not.
let's say the ex, right? Let's say today is Wednesday, and I would have rebounded on the ex on the weekend before, so on the Sunday or Saturday before. And now I'm going to go on a date on the Thursday, the following Thursday, with the new guy. You think I should disclose that to the new guy, you're saying?
No, you don't need to tell him anything. You don't need to
Okay.
tell. Why would he? Why are we talking about exes on our first date? We're supposed to be getting to know each
Right,
other.
correct,
So
correct.
where
Yeah.
would the conversation come up of
As time
Right.
starts to go
the past
by,
one?
depending, because we move differently. Some people move faster than others. So as time starts to go by in our relationship, we start talking about different stuff. Some people in a month, them fully in already. Some people take 2 months, 3 months, you name it. Whenever you get fully in with that person, let's say we're one of the fast movers, and in our 4 weeks we're fully in, everything up already, and we cement with there completely there. And this person say, in a conversation, would you whatever with an ex? No, remember, you're just 4 weeks fully in, but 4 weeks before this, 4 weeks and 3 days before this, you were with that ex. Are you gonna say, that's not a conversation I wish to have? You're already lying. That's
So
deceptive.
let me see if I can get it clear, Ali. So let's say 4 week after, let's say I move fast, and 4 weeks after, he's asking me what if I would fall back on an ex.
Yeah, like him say, you ever like, let's we do it in a layman terms, like him would say, you ever spin the block, or you ever you have an ex where that spin the block one, or ex ever spin the block one, or ever spin the block, whatever. Cause that we say no, that's the term we use now.
Oh,
all
you
right? So
know,
I
the,
was
if
so
I'm
saying
the
gonna
thing
be
is to
previous
honest,
say,
before you
Ali,
was
I would
before
answer
you.
that
Right now I'm
question
me
like
and
I'm
you.
answering an interview question for a job.
yeah.
Before
Well, the
my
thing for me is, say, is it that it's going to be conditional knowing or conditional exposure? Because at that stage, you would be protecting who from
yourself.
what, and therefore, here's the thing. Is it that there are going to be specific circumstances why you don't wish to? So, for example, that as it pertains to say a relationship, right? Or more often know the nature of the relationship that you had with the ex. Is it that you're not going to tell me anything at all? Are you going to be selective on what you share if I insist that I want to, or make you feel that it is important that having an idea of who the type of person that you interact with is important to me? Are you going to be selective in what you say to me? And if in an event, whichever choice you make, what would be your motive to make a choice? So, say for example, so you tell me or you don't tell me, what would be the what would motivate you? But key to the thing is that if you choose not to tell me, who would you be protecting, me or you?
If I'm to answer that question, Michael, I would anything I'll be doing in answering question, I'm protecting myself at the end of the day. But whether or not I answer with detail would be depending on what is it that I think my response, how it will affect the situation that I'm trying to get into. So if over the 4 weeks I realize that you're somebody that is not for the spinning block option, then I would either say no, I would not spin the block. But if I see that that will not affect us carrying on and I'm interested in us carrying on, then I would say, well, maybe depending on, what the current situation is. But as I'm saying, I'm going to answer all questions as if it's an interview. I'm going to tell you what I think is going to put me in a more favorable position.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yes,
So
you'd have to do a risk
it's conditional.
assessment.
It's conditional then.
Yeah, it's like Stacey's saying,
You'd
I will
have to
do
do
my
it.
risk
You'd
assessment.
have to do a risk assessment. You would have to figure out, okay,
Yeah.
if telling this person this, is it going to be harmful to the future of the relationship, or is it going to be beneficial because now you have a little bit of an insight into the person's character or how they operate when they're not in a relationship? Or is it something that you're going to look at them and be like, always wondering in the back of your head, are they spinning the block with an ex? Like, is it going to be beneficial knowing this information? And then
Could
at the
that
end
be
of the
ever be
day, what is
tantamount to
knowing
you
this
wearing a mask,
information going to
though?
do?
No, I
What
mean,
is
would that be?
knowing going to
I
do?
think it only sounds strange coming from women, Michael, because we're being honest about it, and usually women are not like, oh yeah, I'm gonna lie about the situation or trying to say what we know the man want to hear, but it's the
Right,
truth.
right.
Like,
I mean, I can't relate. But would that be tantamount to you wearing a mask? And I ask the question against the
I mean, don't
background
we
that
all wear masks all the
would that,
time?
I mean, some masks have to come off at some point. Well,
At
here's the
some
thing, though.
point,
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. If you take that approach, should I assume that that is an entrenched part of your character? Or should I assume that you use it conveniently? And either way, it's going to be a reflection of who you are.
you just
So
won't know
what do
though,
I use?
Michael.
How do
You're
I
not gonna
determine
know.
that? How do I determine that? Well, this is a part of your character where you communicate conveniently
But
and
you're
protect
not gonna
yourself
know
at all
that is a
times.
communication of convenience.
No,
You're
no.
not
I
gonna
mean,
know.
well, no. Well, I know. I mean, you get things hidden or revealed by the type of question you ask. You agree? So therefore, if that is the case, at what point am I going to have the person who is transparent and totally honest? Are you going to gauge me and say, well, you don't deserve this at this stage, so I'm going to keep it. 5 months down the road, you might be deserving of a little more. And as we tread along,
That's
I'm going to become more
I
open
think, as
and open
Stacey
and
said,
open.
we will continue to do our risk analysis and then we'll let it out accordingly. If we feel like at no point in time you will know, then at no point in time you will know.
You know what the thing about that? For all of that and intent and purposes, it may not meet your objective. So in other words, it could very well be that you hide the information or conceal the information conveniently that doesn't meet what you intended or expected from the man, or vice versa. So it's a gamble, but it's also a gamble not just with the person, because it could be very well be somebody that genuinely have an interest in you, or somebody who you genuinely want. And bear in mind, that if you're talking to, because I consider myself an ex-player. I know women. I verse myself on women. I pay to listen to women. I pay them to just talk to me, because most men, they just get physical with women and emotional with women and then bang. But no, I pay women to listen because you learn so much, even women that I'm not intimate with. So
So
I kind of
Michael,
master that sort of thing. So therefore, you're going to say that you're going to assume that you're talking to somebody who probably may have a slight ignorance of how women communicate and all of that. Now, what if that is not the case? What if you're talking to somebody who's versed like myself? You won't know that I know you're trying to conceal something. And therefore, I could play you right into a position where I get what I want and then say, okay, you know what? You see, all along, a pale lie, you not tell me, you might deny it, but you're going to know in yourself, say, like, you did hide something from me. I'm going to say, oh, yeah, man, no, man, it was we are one man. You hide something from me, and me, this is how me behave, so we
But
match.
Michael, there's no different from interviewing for a job. You don't interview and always get the job. It is what it is. You don't always get it.
No, I'm going to manipulate you and get the job. But guess and tell me now, you have an objective, me have one. So it's almost like a gamble. So you hear me say now, if say for example, say me satisfied with where you said to me, knowing that me I go give you the impression, say all the way you tell me believe you. That's how me I go tell you now. Me do it differently. Me I go play your cards because me might want to get in your, you know where. And as soon as me get that, me I go tell her, say, oi, say me never believe whether that tell me, say,
So
I me
then
did
how
know
would
say
you have
boy
known
otherwise.
differently?
So we go come
So
out
then
even
that would be you being deceptive and
really,
manipulative, because then that no, seriously, hold on,
really no.
because you're talking about mask, right? And if you in yourself know, say you don't believe the person of what they're talking to or saying to you because you feel like they're withholding information, right?
Right.
And mind you, this is not information that you are entitled to because it was prior to you. I feel like anything that happens prior to you, it is, I'm not going to say off limits, but it's not pertinent. Like, it's up to the person if they want to disclose that, because there's certain things that happens in people's past that they do want to forget. They want to put it in a box and dash it away. So if the person now feels comfortable and safe enough with you to disclose certain things that has happened prior to you, and then you say, well, you know what, me no believe you, it almost coming like you were holding up a mask just to get them to drop down their guard enough for you to get what you want, and then you're gonna say, oh well, Sam, I never did believe you, and it seemed kind of cunning, but no.
No,
So, but
Stacey, from
also
what
too,
Michael
remember
is saying
you.
though, hold on, Ali. From what Michael is saying, I have to somewhat clarify something here. The reason why Michael is responding that way is because he said, let's say I put it on the table, Jody, to say, I want to know. So you can't just tell me that, no, you're not going to give up the information. Him saying, want to know. I responded and said, well, I would respond like I'm in an interview. I'm going to tell you what you want to hear. So it's on that basis why he's responding that way, just to
But and then
clarify that.
that's my question to Michael is, what is you wanting to know going to do for the relationship going forward? Like, what is the urge or the eagerness for you wanting to know this information? What's the
It
purpose of
could
it?
be something that have affected my it could be something that have affected me in the past. So it could be the basis of it could be having that have an experience like that.
That
And
could be the
therefore
same for
it
her
could be
too.
right. So no, but yeah, but the thing about it is that could be my trigger point for me.
Could be a trigger point for her too, where
No,
she's
no,
disclosed these things
all right.
before and
All
it
right.
was used against her in a negative way. So
Here's
that's
the
that's why I'm
position
saying,
that
like,
I
what is the
here's the po-
motive behind wanting to know this information? What is the motive?
no, but like I said, it varies. It doesn't have one specific motive. But here's the thing, though. Here's what I think would be more reasonable in my perspective. Why not take a position and say, look, there are certain things that me just not gonna tell you right now. And don't ask me why me not tell you, me just not tell you. Right? Me just not feel comfortable talking with it. At this point, it have certain little things for make me just not feel comfortable with you. At some point down the road, we might have share it with you and we might never share it at all. But don't expect me. So, as it pertains to say the sensitive area that you don't want to be exposed and you can name them out, and then now me I go say, all right, cool, we can work with that. We can understand where I come from. But to not give me an opportunity to at least, because remember now, I'm going to want to accept you in totality. So it's not going to say that, well, then if you don't tell me, I'm going to say, well, then boy, no, it's off for me. You could very well say, communicate, and that is one of the basic communication. Say to me, say, Michael, me just I get to know you, you know. So you wanna no bother what they will leave a bag of question about man and this and that and way me just not feel comfortable with at this point. Right? Me now know say boy that the type of person me I deal with. And I will feel more comfortable with the communication. But you are gonna do it in a one way now, where you have been at the dark in a one sense, because you have feed me now. It's like you filter information give me. I don't know if that is helping me to communicate with you even more. And worse, if me know say that here though. Worse if me know say that here though. That's why I'm saying I could play you along. Right? Because remember now it doesn't the information you not giving me the information doesn't have to be like me now, no, you know. It can be a choice. Mhm.
hurt you, but just things that have happened in the past, then that is completely acceptable. But you can't, just because you want to know that information right then and there, expect the other person to be in the same spot that you are to divulge it.
Yeah,
I
no,
just
no.
feel like, yeah.
Yeah, no. That's not necessarily reasonable. But then again, that probably depends on the type of personality you're dealing with as well. But in all fairness, it would be reasonable for you to expect a person to do that because you just don't know the extent of the experience, how it affects her emotionally, etc., etc. And there could be a number of reasons why she chose to hold on to that information. So I don't think
Exactly.
you don't just pry and prim and squeeze and scrape to get that one. No,
And then
I
if a
wouldn't
man
subscribe to
is
that.
doing that, I'm gonna pray him a different way, because why, if I'm telling you this isn't and I'm not comfortable with this line of questioning, are you still eager on it? Because then I'm gonna look at you and say, okay, now I know, said that this is something that is so important to you, but why? Like, what is the and that's why I keep saying, what is the purpose of knowing this information? Like, what are you going to gain from it? How is that going to make your relationship better?
And there are several ways to do this. No? I'm going to tell you something. So, all right, suppose for example, say, you realize, say, more to find out how much money you have. Here is the sort of way where you can approach it. You can say to me, say,
Michael, one time a woman I look me and me I look her and she asked me if me pum pum. I'm gonna tell her yeah. And she said she don't want no man to eat pum pum. Then me keep me damn mouth shut, bro. And hold it as a G.
uh, but
Yeah,
all
man.
of that come with experience, you know. You see,
No,
if
no,
a
me
woman
never
asks me, no,
chat, me
well, I
chat too
know,
much.
no, what
Me
you want
chat too
to
much.
know. Well, I guess probably, if you don't know, you probably don't know. When a woman asks you a question like that, particularly, you feel her out, and you say like, boy, that is a common thing, but I don't even know right now, You damn well know, so you do it, And you gotta say, but how you feel about man to do them something they do? Kind of just push it back on one technical way. But I'm gonna tell you something.
Then Jaga
You
said
see,
we
where
love
me there
that, we
today,
love that.
where me there today, as I said to you, it cost me. It cost me. Cause like I said, I will, I start dating, you see, I will date a girl and tell her to take her friends with her. And she was like, no, but me, I did. I said, no, man. Especially the first date, and maybe the second. I said, no, man, can't couple of your friends, then, man. Me be by everything, man. Me sponsor one, man. Because guess what? I learned so much. I learned how to treat people. I learned how to talk to people. I learned or what our social skills are like. I learned a whole heap of things. I learned the type of friends that you keep. And I make an assessment of her character just by then. It cost me a couple of dollars, but I learned the lesson is priceless. But that's just me. But going back to the whole communication thing as it relates to say, where you communicate, um, you see discernment and experience come over a period of time. And certain things you cannot test the temperament of the person who you are communicating with. And you can almost feel the type of person that you have and the type of question they might ask you, particularly if you communicate with that person over a period of time. Because most people not change, them only probably vary a little, a couple of inches, but them always come back to them core. So that for you, when they say you go up on a date, at that point you're supposed to say to yourself, because probably say you talk before over the phone or whatever, as the case may be. you always are gonna get a tendency of the type of person you're gonna get. And the likelihood of who I'm interest and why I might typically ask, it's seldom I go catch you out of the blue. And the question they might go ask upon the date. You know what I
True.
mean?
Ali,
Sleep.
Ali told me to relative.
Two, no.
You told
Just
me
a
no.
listen.
Ali to bed?
I just
I
the
thought I
snore
was gonna
boy there.
No,
entertain.
but just a listen. For me still, as we say, I agree with certain things. I think well, it's not even, I don't want to say integrity because that probably gonna come off offensive as if people not be honest, but yeah, some questions are definitely going to be off limits, like body count and stuff, but others, you see, when you hide it initially and then eventually it becomes an issue further down the road, it's something that come up or you refuse to talk about it earlier on, it come up later on, and it probably cause you to separate in a relationship, or it just start becoming a problem. So I think like just being honest, and if the person genuinely care about you, they'll accept it and say, okay, I understand we used to do that too, but let's see if we can not do that anymore, being that we're together, as opposed to saying, oh, I'm not gonna talk about that. Then at that point, person already know say them need to have some reservations. They can't give you 100% because you already hide stuff. They're gonna start hiding stuff as well. You're not going to get 100% of that person. So guess what? To own a relationship, to own hide things from one another, nobody don't know what's really going on.
Because there's no
Before you know it,
realness.
things
No,
start coming
right. That's
out.
why I was saying. Oh, that's why I was telling her that I could understand her what she's doing without she revealing it, and I could play the game depending on my objective.
Yeah, you go and play the game, and especially if you've won something out of it,
Right.
play the game until you get it, and then you just cut. And she go wonder now, why him just drop me like that? Me and him not have anything. Yeah, these are the things that
But I
come back.
I
but I
tell you,
think
I'm a
Because
two man
similarly that's
here.
what maybe the lady would have understood that though.
Maybe that's what she trying
Because
to
you have
avoid.
to know that if you're not, as Ali say, if you're not being open from the jump, then there is a possibility that the person may think that you're being deceptive. But in general, like, I just don't want to hear. I don't want to hear it all. Like, if you're trying to get to know me, and if you even start telling me the problem that you have with your mother and your family, immediately me not bother like you come start saying, no, that man you chat too much. I can't take the whole heap of
yeah.
talking.
Yeah, true.
And then also, you have to remember there's a difference between being open and being reserved, especially when just meeting somebody, you want to be reserved.
You're
And
right
I'm not
enough,
saying
say
that,
maybe that's what it is. I'm reserved. I can't
yes,
take
you
the
want
whole
to
heap
be
of
reserved
talking.
because you don't want to open up too, you don't want to open up too quickly because that's when you leave yourself open, you are exposed. So you want to reserve yourself in a way that if the relationship doesn't progress past 3 months or 4 months, the person that's leaving is not leaving knowing all of your business because people are people are people. People are people at the end of the day. And then not only that, but to your topic about spinning the block. If there is a woman or a man who's only been with 3 people, right? And the relationships did not work out, but they still endeavor to find love and they still want a relationship with somebody. And there's that physical desire that they want to be met. Instead of going to like the club and meeting a random person and sleeping with them, and then now not only sleeping with 3 people, but now them sleep with 4 people, they say, you know what, I don't want to keep adding to the amount of people that I'm with. There's one person that you know out of your exes that you know is safe because you're not going to be doubling back on somebody who is out here sleeping with left, right, and the center and is leaving you exposed to other things out there. You want to do that with somebody who's a safe choice or somebody who you know, okay, at the end of the day, when you know link up, you know, so it's just to get that physical part met and it's not going to, or I'm not going to say it won't snowball into nothing more, but you kind of have them on a levels where you know it's just a safe option for you. And then instead of sleeping with a bag of people, you know, so you only slept with those 3 people. That's why I was saying spinning the block is acceptable in the scenario that you are single. I'm not saying spin the block when you have somebody at home and you're a sneaky link. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you're single and
Spin
it's
the
just
block. Are you single?
when you
Power
spin the
top,
block.
guys. Power top the screen,
Yeah.
please, guys. Let's get
When you spin the
the
block,
lights up.
absolutely. Because if you're spinning the block while you're in a relationship or you're seeking a relationship with somebody, then that's not honest, because then you're trying to
I
have two men at the same time. But if you're not talking to anybody, or if you're in the early stages of talking to somebody and you are not physical and you guys are not exclusive, because that's the other thing. If you guys are exclusive and you're still entertaining other outside people, then that's a character flaw. But if you guys are not exclusive and you are,
consider anybody sleeping with somebody else single. I'm sorry, and I hope nobody approaches me with that mentality. If
when
any
you're
man come
single,
to me and tell me that he's single, but he's and absolutely not, sir. You're not single.
I
Yes,
love Ali.
No, no, you're not single. You're not single. You are not single.
but you are single
You're not.
because you have casual sex with somebody in your past
Single means you are not
in a
sleeping with
relationship,
anybody
Celibate. You're saying
or in
celibate
a
and single goes
relationship with
together,
anyone.
Ali.
but they
Yeah,
don't.
if you're sleeping with somebody, and that's why we have so much foolishness happening now. Cause one person think it's just casual and friendly, another person has emotions attached to it, and that's why it happened.
But that's when you guys are not on the same page. If the two of you are on the same page and
Majority of
saying, you
them
know
on the
what,
same page.
because this is,
Sure.
that the two of you have that physical
Ali, that's
chemistry
like a
already,
man just jump in
right?
the car and go back road, go buy some punani and come back.
No, and that's even worse
That is
because
a
then he's
joke.
just adding
I
to his body
almost died
count,
here. Oh my
and that's
gosh.
what I'm saying.
I
If
don't
you're,
consider I all right, you see, I do not consider a man sleeping with somebody else, even if he doesn't claim her, single because he's not. I understand what we're saying. Us in society try to separate. And I hear somebody say the other day that mainly us, because he referred to us as Jamaicans. And he said the culture of us, or culture, is that we can sleep from here, there, everywhere, and still think it's okay, and still think we're single, and still operate as if we're not. But he said our culture is to sleep around.
but
The
that's the thing.
sleeping
You're not
around thing,
sleeping around. You're sleeping with one person,
Let's
you're
say with
not in a
culture. What I
relationship
mean
with
with
them.
culture? Everybody sleep around, For a
but you're
No,
reason.
you're
sleeping with
no,
one
you're
person.
not in a relationship with the person, and you are sleeping. All right. So what is that called then? What's the title for that?
That's an understanding. You have an
No, Stacy,
understanding
that's
with the
I'm sure
person.
that's
Friends
not
with
what the
benefits.
dictionary.
No, it's a no. Seriously, Ali. I understand where you're coming with the moral high ground. I understand where you're coming from. But we have to understand that there is a certain level of understanding as adults that you can have with another adult. Right? I'm not talking about little pitney thing when you sleep with somebody, you catch up in your feelings and, oh, that's my man,
But
even though,
getting into
even, hold
feelings
on,
does
hold on,
nothing to
hold
do
on,
with
hold on, Ali,
age.
hold on, Ali,
It's
hold on,
not
Ali.
determined by age, Stacy. Come on.
No, hold on, Ali. I'm talking about when you're younger, because as you grow, you mature, you learn, and you see things differently. Let me speak for myself. When I was younger, I used to feel like if I slept with this man, that's my man. That's my man, my man, my man, my man. Nobody could tell me nothing. That's my dude. Right? Meanwhile, he don't think that he's my dude. But as
Right?
you grow and when you know better, you say, okay, you know what? We have an understanding that this is just something the two of us are doing together. We're not sleeping with other people. And if there is a potential other person, it's a conversation now. We have to come back together and say,
So
okay,
pretty much
there's
you can sleep with somebody that's not your guy then.
kind of
no.
funny how we
No,
talk
yes,
about.
yes,
Listen to
that's
what I'm
exactly
saying.
what you
Hold on.
said. No, that's what you
Hold on,
that's
Ali.
exactly
No,
what you
no.
said.
Can I finish? Let me finish first. If there is a potential person that you are talking to, because I'm not saying, okay, there's a saying up here. They say date everybody, but you're not have to sleep with everybody. That means you can go on dates. You can get to know people without having to sleep with them. But if there is the physical need that you have, the desire, because we are human, we all have desires, and there is somebody that you can go to get that physical part met until you feel like you are at that place to reach it with somebody else. You have that right in there between the two of them. And it's not a matter of, okay, we have sex and then now it's pillow talk and it's date nights and it's all, you're not
It's
blurring the
transactional,
lines.
right?
You're
Free
not
transactions.
exactly, it's not blurring
So
the
what type of
lines.
ship is it? It's not a relationship. What type of ship is it?
It's an
Situation.
understanding, it's a situationship.
Funny how
They
we say.
call it up here friends with benefits.
No, it's funny how we talk about sleeping around when the act itself doesn't involve sleeping. I guess it. Oh,
It's not
well,
sleeping around. That's what I'm saying. It's you're
no,
not
no, no, no.
sleeping with five and 10 different
I'm just trying
people.
to be funny. When you
You're
say
sleeping
sleeping
with one
around, but the actual
person.
act that doesn't involve, well, again, depends. Some people sleep afterward, but it doesn't involve any sleeping at all. You know.
No.
But
I know, but I mean, like when they say sleeping around,
no, no,
you're
no, no,
not
no. I
doing that
understand.
with
I understand.
you're
I
not
understand.
doing that transactional part of it with 3 or 4 different people or this person for this day, this person for that day. No. There's one person, one singular person. And when I say you guys are having smacks, you guys are doing it safely. I'm not saying that you're out here and then there's other things that come with it, because we know it's not just pregnancy that we avoid when we do certain things. There's other things that can come with it. So
Like
you're
what?
doing it in a way that,
We have the
like
people in the
diseases,
comment agreeing with Ali.
like diseases.
Person saying that you're not once you're not married, you're single. That's by 8 Ball. Another person say I could never sleep with someone if we are not in a relationship.
But that
So
it comes down to the person. It comes down to the person.
Yeah.
Because remember, this is not a random person you're sleeping with.
Yeah,
This
wanna
is
make it
somebody
sound
who you
like
know. This is somebody
right.
you you know them. You know how
Familiarity
they
breed
are. You know their
bedfellows, they
character.
say.
You know how they carry themselves. You might even know their family. So this is not a random Joe Blow
So
on the
you
street
said,
that
but
you're
you said,
picking up.
Stacey, that sleeping around with a person can cause things, and not only pregnancy. What are some of the things that sleeping around with somebody
Diseases.
can cause?
I'm saying
Can it
diseases.
cause
That's what
emotional attachments too?
sure, but that's if you're not at the. That's why. Okay,
Can
the
but so you
act
can sit up
itself.
and tell me that you can sleep with somebody that you're not emotionally attached to?
But that's what I'm saying. This is somebody who you know. This is not a random person. The act itself, it takes a certain level of maturity to do it correctly. Because don't get me wrong, just because you do the act does not mean you are ready for the act.
Stacey, I have to agree with Ali in this case. For me, I can't do it either.
But
I
that's
can't.
you.
Yeah.
I'm saying
So
for me, for
yeah, I
me,
get it.
for
I get
me.
it.
You hear
Let
that?
me
Yeah,
let
but
me
your people say them catch feelings, you know what it mean? It mean them going on something, not expecting anything out of it but a transaction, and it winded up into something different. And a lot of people always talking about catch feelings. These are the situations that lead to that.
But it's really
That's
not
why the
feelings that they
friendship with
catch.
the
It's
ex.
really not. It's not feelings that they catch. It's infatuation. It's lust. It's the fact that they're stroking the part of them that is missing. So they feel like, oh my goodness, this was
No,
what was
Boy,
missing.
Stacey,
no.
feelings, we call it. And that we call
Stacey,
it
if you're gonna
Stacey
tell me say
feelings.
I lost and all of these things, why? But you
If you
already
weren't,
given to the
So,
lust
if
by
you
sleeping with the
weren't having
guy.
the
You
act with the
already
person,
give.
would you still have cotton feelings for them?
Chances are yes, but you're growing it when you keep doing the act with them. You're growing those feelings. Anything you
Because they
feel
were
will
already
go.
there on the underline. They were already there.
All right. So how is it that how are you going to
70K,
cut the
guys. Great
feelings off
job.
when you meet your
Continue.
new
Tap,
guy
tap,
now?
One
tap.
second,
How
I
are
can't
you
hear you,
gonna
Ali. One
disconnect
second,
those
Ali.
feelings? Because remember, feelings are not
Hold on,
things that
Ali.
you
Can you
turn.
repeat that? I didn't hear that just now. Sorry.
No problem. All right. So let's say we talk about the emotional aspect of the whole doubling back, or whatever you call it. How do you disconnect those feelings when you're ready to move on to somebody new? You meet this guy now. Let's go back to the guy convo, and you want to move on to him. How do you detach now from that casual situation to move on completely when you have emotions involved? I remember emotions were already involved because you've been doing the act. Is it that you just switch out of it like a light switch, you just flick off the feelings and move on? Or is it going to be a process where it will take you a time to forget this person completely that you've been messing with, that you're not with, but you've been messing with, and move on to your new person?
Okay. So I think I'm understanding where you're coming from. But that's in the sense of, okay, To what I'm understanding, and I'm trying to pinpoint out of what you're saying.
It goes back to the point. Don't be besties or big friends with your ex. Because it's going to lead to other stuff and it's going to complicate your entire life. And when you're ready to move on and live your life the right way and you decide, so, oh, this is what I want, the past is going to resurface and it can create problems for your future. Anybody
So
can do what they want, but
at
for
what point
me,
did you because you have to know when you feel like, okay, this is becoming a little bit more than just a little casual thing. And if
and
it's
that
becoming more than a casual thing, then you're gonna have to make the decision of if you want to continue pursuing a relationship with somebody new, or if you want to let your past person know, hey, we were doing this for a while and I'm starting to feel a little re-spark of something. Because remember,
yeah.
old fire stick easy for catch. You have to now put your big girl panties on and make that decision of, do I want to go
So,
this way or that way? And you need to make it known to both parties.
so you're gonna
The
say to the
problem,
old guy,
no, the only way
sorry
the
to cut you
problem
off.
comes in.
Let me put it in. Let me just understand. So you're going to go to the old guy that you've been sleeping with on and off. That was your ex that you're now developing feelings for because you guys have been doing the do. You keep doing it and it feel like old days or whatever. You find now that the feelings start to come back. So you're gonna go to him and say, hey, my feelings for you are coming back. I think we need to stop this right now, right?
You would either tell them that they need to stop it or to explore it. But that's a choice, that's a decision the two of them have to make together.
I don't think anybody's gonna do that.
I know. So I have a question for
That's
Stacey. I have a
yes, go
question
ahead.
for Stacey. All right, so Stacey, if you were to rate chemistry on a scale of 1 to 10 on its impact and your ability to control, where would you bring it on the scale?
What do you mean
Of,
in your ability to control?
well, okay. So chemistry, emotion, it could be chemistry first, then emotion second, or emotion first, then chemistry second. Usually it's chemistry that goes first. So I'm saying to you, your capacity to control chemistry, if you were to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? With 10 being the highest. Your ability to control chemistry.
Your ability to control chemistry.
Yeah.
I
If you,
would
but I'm
say,
taking it to you
like,
personally. If you were to,
for me to control chemistry with someone,
mm-hmm.
it's very high. Like, if somebody does something or says a little, the chemistry it's like a candle. It can be extinguished really quickly.
You
Because
serious?
remember, absolutely.
You know, that's
Remember,
very unique though.
it's not just the physicality of it. I'm looking at their character. I'm looking at how they treat people. I'm looking at how they speak. I'm looking at how they carry themselves. So yes, in the initial stages, I could look at them and be like, damn, this person is fine. The whole feels. But then something happens and I'm like, hold on, they're not as attractive as I once thought. So the chemistry now, it's gonna waver. It's gonna diminish a bit.
Oh, so your chemistry carry a brain. Because to
There's a
me,
brain
see,
to it.
most experiences, all right, there's a certain type of woman, you see, when we see them on the street, they are very rare, very unique, you hardly see them. You like you see one of them probably twice a year. Who me just want to hold them same place, drop them on can and just deal with the case right away. Not very few women have that
But
ability.
that's a control thing. That's a self control
No.
thing.
I'm just saying. I'm just speaking from my personal perspective. So
Mhm.
therefore, it doesn't matter, and it don't necessarily have to be say a quote unquote pretty girl, right? Or who them say cock up or anything like that. She just have it. Some women just have it like that, right? Now, I don't have any control over most of the time over that. I just want it. So when you say that you have that control over your chemistry thing, it's a remarkable achievement because chemistry is what keep most people attached. The logic is not what keep most people attaching. It's the chemistry that keep them attaching. Chemistry in combination with the emotion. So if you are saying that you are able to make that type of detachment, I must admire your capacity to, to
And
control your
that
thing.
comes with life, and that comes with life and life experiences. Because before there was a time where I was like, no, I really like this person. I don't care what they
Just a
do. I
little
don't care.
commercial break, guys. Just a
Yes, go
little
ahead.
commercial breaks. I want to thank you guys for tapping the live. Continue to tap, but I want everybody on the live send whatever gift you can send right now. Just send gift as we go along and we listen, right? Thank you so much, guys. All right, and I'll continue the discussion. Thanks,
Yes,
guys.
no. I was saying there was a time where once upon a time, yes, I was like, I don't care. I just really like the person and because the chemistry and you feel like you're never going to get that attraction with anybody else. So you hold on for dear life to this relationship or to this person because you feel like they've brought out this side of you that you thought or you didn't even know existed. But in reality, just because this person sparks that little inner you where you feel like, oh my goodness, you feel like the little butterflies in your tummy, but it's not based on the basis. You're looking at the foundation now. What are they founded on? And for me, I'm sorry.
Chemistry bypass
Yes.
all of it, I can tell you. Chemistry don't care about nobody's character.
That's what
I
I
have
think too.
found
That's my
myself,
experience
I have found
to
myself
Alan.
entertaining people
Mm-mm.
who I know I should never ever pick up a phone call for because of the whole chemistry thing. I have had to
I
consciously cut the connection and know that listen, have some self-respect and look in the other
It's a
direction.
choice.
That's
It's a
my
Chemistry
experience
does
choice.
to Ali.
not
It's a choice. No,
chemistry does not respect anybody's character.
No,
no,
You
that's
it's a
see,
that's
and
my
it
choice.
has
experience.
nothing to do with how them treat you either. It has everything to do with how you feel about that person.
Yeah,
It's a
it's a
choice.
completely biological reaction.
It's a choice. It's a choice, guys, because you have to
No,
look within
you
yourself.
saying chemistry is a choice? Well,
No, 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 no,
that's a
no,
new
no, no,
one.
no, no, no. To follow through on chemistry is a choice. That this is what I'm saying. Very listen, hear me out. Following through on chemistry is
Mm-hmm.
a choice. You can go throughout this world and have feel chemistry for more than one person, but the decision to act on what you're feeling is a personal choice, and that now falls back on you. That falls back on your self-esteem. That falls back on how you view yourself. That falls back on what you are willing to accept. Because if you see somebody and you're like the chemistry is there, but you know deep down that this person is not a good person, and you getting wrapped up with this person are gonna lead to nothing but turmoil and struggle for you. If you within yourself say, you know what, even though the chemistry is there, that is not a road I'm willing to go down because I know how it's gonna end already. You're not gonna do it, and nobody can make you do it. The
All right.
only way you go down that road is if you really did want to go down it in the first place.
All right. So let me ask you the next question. What percentage of women you think stays in toxic relationship simply based on the chemistry? I mean, the one-eyed serpent hold on upon her for dear life, and she dare not want to let it go, but everything else is not up to par. What
That
percentage of women you think stay in a relationship like that?
it's not just that. You have to look at why they are staying in that relationship. Some women are
I'm not
afraid.
I specifically mentioned why. I mean, I
A
mentioned
Why?
lot of
But
women,
that's what I'm saying.
I can't
A
even
lot.
say a percentage, but I'd say that alone have women staying in relationships way longer. And I do not want to be unreasonable and say yeah, 80%. I don't want to put a percent on it, but I can tell you it's possibly a very high number of women.
And
I
then
would
you have to
agree
look
with
at why they are staying in these relationships. Is it because they are afraid that if they get out of the relationship, they're not going to find somebody who has a one-eyed serpent like that person? Or are they afraid of being alone? You have to look at why they are staying in a toxic relationship. Remember, unless it's a physically dangerous situation, you staying in that situation is a choice.
Well,
Nobody can
I would, based on
force
my
you to stay in that.
experience, I think chemistry have a lot to do with it. I mean, I could be wrong because I'm not working
Chemistry
on
and
stats here.
the person's willingness to accept foolishness, because you have to remember, if you now, okay, for you, Michael, now if you now see a woman, right, and you know said there's nothing good about the woman, or no god son on take it so far and rain, and then now it comes down and you're saying you see her true colors, and even though the chemistry is still there, and you said, Jano, this is not a relationship that I can see going far. You staying in that relationship past you knowing this about her is your choice. If you choose to stay in it, you can't say, oh, chemistry make me stay in it. No, it was you that made that conscious decision to be there.
It's not
Because
a
just
conscious decision, it's an emotional one.
But
Yeah, but
And
the
you
thing
it's
have to
about
look
it
at
is
a
logic
that
lot of
decision.
times
chemistry and
But
that
logic are not
no,
in
twins.
it's
order
an
for you to make
logic
the
just
decision,
a
in
lot of
order for
times
you
Chemistry
to
and
make
logic are
the
not twins, you know,
a lot of times
Stacy.
in
it's
relationship
not
test
an
there's
emotional
a
decision,
deep
guys. It's
it
not
is an
emotional.
emotional one. A lot of time in relationships there's an absence of logic and
But it's
Yeah,
the
reality. It
choice.
yeah.
is
You
based
staying there
completely
is your
on
choice.
emotions.
But
No, but
it's the
Stacy,
choice that you're choosing. Because remember, in order for
chemistry
you
and
to
logic are not twins.
but in order for you to make a decision, there has to be options. So there has to be a right or a left.
Yeah,
In
that's when
order,
rational
if you
takes over, Stacy. But
no,
hold on now.
even if there's no
All of what you're
ration,
talking about, well, all that you're saying, all that what you're talking about, is when logic supersedes chemistry. I'm saying they are not twins. Most time, the chemistry work counter to the logic. I work against the logic. And by the time logic catch up with it, it's already done.
Yeah,
Most
both
times
of
too
them are
late.
pulling in two different directions. You know what's right, but you cannot get. How many people here sing about them know what's right, but them can't and them do what's wrong? It's the same thing. It's
But
just
the
that
woman,
emotions
the
will
woman sing,
always
Mr.
figure it out.
What the song go, Mr. Right? I don't want Mr. Right to be Mr. Wrong, something like that. Who
Me
know
and
that
Mr.
song?
Right, yeah, me and Mr. Wrong get along so good. Yeah, me and Mr. Wrong get along so good. Even though
Yeah,
he hurts me so bad.
but
yep,
The
it's a
love
right.
go out the
choice. That is
window.
a choice, guys. That's what I'm saying. It all comes down to
Ah.
your choice. And whether you guys want to hear it or not,
You're
you
right. It comes
choose
down to
to
our
follow your
choices.
mind or you choose to follow your heart. There's
You're right.
two
But
paths. You choose which path you decide to go. So I'm
here's
not
what with the
saying
choice
that you.
now.
Mhm.
Here's what with the choice now. Yeah, it's a choice. You're absolutely right. It's a choice you're making because if you're not refusing something or whatever, you're
You're
choosing
accepting
it,
it.
right? If you're
It is a
yeah.
choice.
But here's the thing. Remember, as human beings, we're creatures of habit, and we like things that we are comfortable with. The
Familiar
unknown is
with? Yeah.
always going to be
Scary.
yeah, scary. The unknown is always going to be scary. So you find that even though you know this is wrong for you, you will tug along and continue because you're hoping things will change and get better. And two, you just don't know what to expect if you should change. And three, change is uncomfortable. So when you make the
Exactly.
change, you're breaking your routine, you're changing your lifestyle completely. No, when you cut off that connection or whatever it is, that is a death that you're going to have to grieve all while trying to rebuild yourself and the changes that you now have brought into your life and move on and not look back. So when people stay, it's not because they're weak, it's a big decision they have to make. It's going to change their entire life, and sometimes they just don't want to deal with it. They're
Exactly.
not
The
That's why I
woman
said
ready.
it's
said
not.
in song, she
That's why I
said,
said
why do you come here when you know I have
Yeah,
troubles enough?
yeah.
exactly, Ali. That's why I said it's not it's not just the chemistry that people stay for. I know you were saying earlier comfort breeds contentment, but it also breeds resentment, right?
Explain that for me, Stacey.
Comfort can breed resentment because you're comfortable in a situation with somebody, you feel like, or not, I'm not going to say it for you, I'm saying people in general can feel like this person was so comfortable for them that they couldn't move on. And if they were to had move on, they probably would have found somebody better or a situation that would have been better. So they start to resent the person that they were comfortable with instead of being uncomfortable knowing that this person is not the person for them and making the change earlier on.
And some people just have a scarcity mindset. So they stay in their situations because they feel like, oh, there's not much out there anyway. So might as well stay here because I already have this. And then possibly if I let this go, I won't, chances are I might not find anything else at all. It is a big decision for somebody. It's not a logical one. I don't think most relationships are even built on logic. They're usually built mainly on emotions, your feelings, how you feel.
No,
And
me think
that's
me think say the body have a biological response
But
that
that's
is
the thing.
that is independent of thoughts. In the sense that your mind is telling you no. All right. Yeah, yeah. As a man, sometimes you get in with a girl and You know, she kind of hesitant. And all when you pull down and I pull up and I pull up, she said, no. Look, but she now push you hard, you know. Right? What that I tell her, say, is a communication a go on. But one thing I overpower the other. No,
But you
that's what
see,
I'm
the
saying.
person.
That to me is the power of chemistry. Your mind cannot
No,
tell us that this is
no,
bad for me.
no,
This is
Michael, I'm
not
gonna
good for
stop you.
me.
Hold
At the
on, Michael.
same
I'm gonna
time,
stop you.
you know,
No,
your
because
body are
that
responding a
scenario that
totally
you're
different
giving me
way.
right now, that scenario that you're giving me right now is not a right one. I think you need to draw for a next one. Because if the person is telling you no and the body is reacting a certain way, and the person out of their mouth is saying no, right? You know it is a choice to continue pressuring that person because their mouth has told you no. We already know the body can respond outside of, you know, reacting to touch and all those things. Your body can respond. But if the person has said no and you are still going forward with it, now that is a choice you made, and that is a choice that is not the right choice for that person.
Ah,
No, there's no debate on that. And
yeah,
that's
no,
where
no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
draw the
no,
line.
no, no, no. But
Because
you
that
see,
no, hear me out,
no,
Michael.
no, because you see,
That's what
no,
I'm
but
saying. You need to draw for a
you
next
know,
example,
if
because
you
that
speak,
example is not the right one.
no, hold a second now. You see, if you speak from a woman perspective,
Even
it
for
is
a
going
man,
to
it's
be.
the same thing. Men can be raped too, just the same. It's the same
It
for
is
a man
no, no,
too.
no, 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 no. I'm not talking about graping. I'm
But that's
talking
the scenario
about
you just gave.
no, 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 no.
You said you could be drawing off her clothes and she has said no,
No,
but
no,
her
no,
body. That's what I'm
no,
saying.
no, 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 no,
That's
no,
why I
no,
said
no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no, no, no,
stop you
no, no,
because
no, no,
that's
no.
not the
I'm
right
not talking
scenario you
about
need
no,
to
no, no.
draw
I'm not
for.
talking about. All right. In other words, you have some people who maybe not. It's not like they're not consenting, you know. So I'm not talking about resisting without consent. In
No
that
is
sense, I'm
no.
not saying that. No, no, no. I'm not talking about you going without consent. It's just that two persons in an environment, she places herself in that position. So you're actually moving on a mutual thing. But I'm just saying, and that's why I make they try to cross it between how the chemistry and the body works.
No is no
All
at
right,
any
all right.
time.
Let me
Consent
give you an
can be
example with me.
withdrawn
Let me
at
give you an example.
any
No,
time.
let me
And
give
that
you an
is for
example.
men and
No,
that
no,
is
let
for
me give you an
women.
example
And that
with
is
me.
a fine line. Michael, don't try and explain it. May I tell you right now, don't try and explain it. No is no across the board, and it can be withdrawn at any time. Because I'm not saying just because you're in a situation where the vibes are there and you feel it and rare, people can come to their senses and say no. And you must
Like,
stop.
what did
No
Michael what
is
did you ask?
no.
If you're in a situation with somebody and like it starts getting physical and the woman is saying no, but her body is reading something different.
All right. You might be in a relationship with somebody, right?
Let me explain it to her.
Well, on, man,
Okay, as I wanted
we
to
can
hear.
remember now, I'm not talking about somebody who, how should I put it now? Like it's a total stranger. I say in other words,
No, go ahead with it. Just
she
go
might,
ahead with another
she might
thing.
did intend figure because, for you to be in a, let me tell you how me think, how it will come off as, not acceptable. It would be a case where you put her in a position she's totally resistant to that
Yeah.
solution. You get a clear indication that she have absolutely no interest in it. She made that clear from the outset. You now start to push yourself, and then even I'm not talking about that. That's not my thing. I'm talking about she probably did plan for you. I want you, but she have some reservation on it at that time. So even though she has said yes, she has said no. She probably even hold on upon you and she not push you where on. So therefore, that
There
I'm
is
so the point I was trying to make wasn't to say that you're overpowering this person, you're overwhelming this person, you're going against this person's will
and
and intention. No. I'm not talking about that.
that is where feelings come in because sometimes you put yourself in a situation where you're saying, all right, this is the reason why I'm going to here. I'm not gonna do this, I'm just going to, let's say for example, talk things out or whatever, or talk to the person. And then things start to get physical. You are saying no, but your body language is saying yes.
Ex-
Emotions and whatever do not always, you know within yourself, said you never come for this, but your body start reacting and responding to it.
Exactly,
Your
that's what
body
I'm talking
start
From
about.
responding to
even
it,
if
Ali.
and
the
that is
body is
That's
something.
exactly what
responding,
I'm talking about, Ali.
guys,
That's
guys,
exactly
even
what
Even
I'm
if
talking
the
about, Ali.
body
You get,
is
you
even
get yourself
sometimes
responding,
mixed.
if you make a conscious decision to not do something and it end up happening, and that's what
but
people call
Ali,
spontaneous.
from the
And
That's
we're
what me I
not
person
talk
that
talking
about,
in
said
Ali.
two
no,
phases of the
You get
hold
to me,
before.
so
on.
you get to me, no,
I
no.
Yeah, I
get what you guys are
understand. It
saying. I
happens and it
understand. I
happens.
understand. But you see, from the person, whether the man said no or the woman said no, then you must stop and say, listen, is this something you want to go forward with? And if they say, say, Jono, this is not really what I came here for, everything done, Dessa. There's no more pressuring. It's, you know what? This is not what you came here for. All right. Go on easy. You go on
Well,
easy.
I
That's what
don't
I'm
think the world is
saying.
that perfect, though,
People will say that,
Stacey.
people will
The world is
keep in
not perfect that way.
between,
It
yeah,
never going to happen that way.
in between the whole
And I don't
kisses or
sanction
whatever is
anybody
happening.
forcefully themselves on persons either.
But that's why
Just
I'm
put it like
saying
Yeah.
that.
there's a difference between chemistry and making a conscious choice. Guys, that's what I'm saying. It's not
Okay.
as black and white as you guys are saying. When you have and that's what it, even though you may feel like, oh, it's an emotional decision and the emotion was there and go with it because you just feel the emotion in at the timeness, does not make it the right thing.
Well, who determine what
Yeah,
it is when it is right, though,
but
Stacey, though?
exactly
Who
because you're
You
determine?
so
can only
hard on
speak for
this point,
yourself.
and
The
we
two
can
of
bring
you
it back.
know.
Stacey,
No,
The
we
no,
two
can
you
of
bring
you
can
it
know
only
back
have
to
to
the
decide
Stacey.
it.
previous
You can
point.
only
We
speak for
can.
yourself, because a woman might take a totally different position from you if you understand exactly what I'm talking about. So it almost comes down to the individual.
And we
Because
can
somebody
bring it
might
back
think
to
that
the
it's all
previous
good and
point
well
as
and
well,
normal.
where you're saying staying, what you call it, where you're saying spinning the block is okay. We can liken that to this situation as well.
Precisely.
But when
Potato,
you spin the
potato.
block, it is a mutual decision between the two of them. You're not spinning the block and the other person is saying, no, I don't really want to spin the block. Because if the other person says no, you can't spin that the way
No, no,
then. You have to
no.
find the next way to spin.
I don't
And
think
that's what I'm
I don't
saying.
think you're understanding how
That's
we're
not, yeah,
communicating, Stacey.
you misunderstand
Yeah, I
where
don't think you're understanding what we're saying. But
I'm
never.
and it
understanding
thrown
perfectly
off.
fine, guys.
No, you
I'm
misunderstand and it threw me off
no,
as well.
because what I'm
Because
saying to you,
you were saying it's a decision when somebody says no and it shouldn't be chemistry. I don't remember, but it completely threw me off. But anyways, if you're going
because
to
your
say
scenario
your
was,
last point, if your last point is what you're standing on, spinning the block should not be a thing because it contradicts the whole spinning the block then.
no, it
If
doesn't.
you are so in control to the point where you can say no, and regardless of the emotions that you're experiencing, stand up on that no and walk away from that situation, knowing that spinning the block is not something that you would want to explicitly state that you indulge in, that can also be something that is a decision and not something that you use emotions to indulge in.
Right, so you'd be
Okay,
in
I
control
hear
at
you.
all times.
Yeah,
But
be in control at all times. How do you determine when to be in control and when you
When
relax
not to.
when you
Right.
relax
hold on, because
your standards? It's
I
pretty
don't feel
much
like you
a
guys are
double
understanding what
standard.
I'm saying. It's not a double standard. Hear what I'm saying. If you choose to spin the block, right? The person that you choose to spin the block with also has to be in agreement on what it is. That it's not a relationship, it's just a hit it because you guys are comfortable with each other, right? You have that familiarity with that person. So you have that to go on. But you see, if you say, okay,
No, but the situation that I'm talking, what you're mentioning is not
what I
absence
was
of
saying
that.
for you, Michael, was the scenario that you were giving. That's
No,
why I
well, it probably
said,
could be your
that's why I
interpretation still,
said,
you know.
that's not
No,
the
no,
scenario you should be giving because that
no,
scenario
but it
is
could
not the
very well be,
right one that you're looking
no,
for.
but it could very well be how you interpret what I say.
But you said if una in a situation and the vibe is there and you are draw them down them something and the person I say no, but them body I say something different. And I said, don't, that's not the scenario you're looking for. And you
Welcome,
continue to
Papa.
explain it. If operate, you continue to try and explain it. That's why I said that's not the scenario you should be explaining on. It's try and justify
No, but you
that
see,
scenario.
because, no, well, a second. Here's the issue. Because you have a particular interpretation of what I said. then you would then further want to say that me explaining it would further reinforce what you said, and I'm not saying what you're saying. We're not what I'm talking and what you're understanding is not the same thing. So therefore, that would prompt me to explain what I said with the hope that you do. But then that didn't help the situation. But it's totally far from what you're interpreting me to be saying, though.
But okay,
Absolutely,
even
apple and
if
oranges.
you're in this scenario with somebody who you are agreeing to spin the block with, and say you guys are in a situation where vibes are there and the
But
man says no.
that's what Stacey was. That's what Ali was saying. That the voice should not be there.
But if
That's
you're
the
in
point she was
agreement with the
making, you know.
person, no,
No,
because
no, 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 no.
you
Ale.
guys are trying to
Stacey,
intertwine.
Stacey
You
was
guys are
saying
trying
that
to
the
No, I
vibe should
intertwine.
think,
not be
guys, I
there.
just
You're
want to
not
jump in
intertwining.
again, right? Just quickly. I'm interrupting the discussion, but quickly, guys. Damon is trying to keep his streaks, and we need like 15,000 points. So anybody that has any gift at all, please send it while you listen. Thank you so much. Continue, guys.
I kind
No,
of
wanna continue.
I think, Stacey, I understand your point and everything in terms of certain things being a decision and shouldn't be emotional, but it also kind of, your point also kind of contradict the whole spin the block thing, and it seems a little double standard that spinning the block is okay, but somebody should have total resistance when they're put in an emotional situation with somebody that they're attracted to and things happen. It's like you'd blame that person, like, oh, that wouldn't have happened if you hadn't gone there. Like, one, to me, you're looking at one as a conscious decision, and the other, you're looking at something that's an uncontrollable, which is a spinning the block. While the spinning block is not uncontrollable, it's something that is a even more conscious decision than you being put in a position where emotions take over and you indulge in something that you didn't want to indulge in. Spinning the block is a
But then if you do
decision
not
that you
want
have
to
to sit down and
indulge in it,
decide to
you should
never
not be
meet.
spinning the block. That's why I said spinning the block itself is a conscious decision. You have to choose to want to spin the block with somebody from your past. And if you are choosing to spin the block, you already know every time the two or no link up, it's gonna be on that type of vibe. So that's why I'm saying that's not the scenario, because if the two of us said, okay, we're gonna spin the block with each other, it's between the two of us. Every time you link up, you already know what it is, right? You have that understanding going in. But if this is not something that the two of them decided to do, and that's why I was saying it's
Sure,
not.
things don't happen with decision. You say you're going to meet up, all right, let's say for argument's sake, you say you're going to meet up with the ex, you care about him things them because you're done with the relationship and you don't want him back in your yard. You
That's
pack
not
him,
spinning the
you
block
pack
then.
him, you pack him one pair of socks in a one shoes box, you dress up, bathe, put on perfume, and you go over there to go return him socks. When you go return him socks, him
But that's not
invite you
spinning the
in.
block. That's you
You,
ending the relationship.
him invite you in. When you go inside, you start talking. Him someone tell you something, start talk, and by talking and talking, the emotions start to flare, and before you know it, things start happening that you didn't go for.
Big
Ali,
up,
you are
That's
Debbie.
what
defining what
Praise
Michael
is
is
God. Big
not.
up,
saying,
Debbie.
right?
It's pretty.
Things started happening that you didn't plan for, and yes, he's coming on to you, and yes, you're saying no, no, don't come on to me, stop, or whatever. But you are saying stop all time. You are participating.
Ali, that's not spinning the block.
I know that's not
What you're
spinning the block.
describing to me
I'm
is
just
not spinning the block.
lightening. No,
Can I give you a scenario
describing. No,
what spinning
listen
the block
first.
is?
No, before we move on, let me clear it up. I know what spinning the block is. I'm likening that's the spin the block situation to the one that Michael was painting to you that you were not agreeing on. I know what spinning the
Because
block
that's
is.
not spinning the block. Even what he
Stacey, I
was
know what
describing
spinning the
is
block
not
is. I
spinning the
didn't
block.
say it was spin the block. I'm using the situation Michael presented to you where emotion took over from logic. A totally completely different situation where he's saying the person is in a position, they're saying no with their mouth, but their body language is saying something completely different. And you say no, no means no. So even if their body language is saying yes, the person hears no, the person should just take the no. That was what
or
he was
or
saying.
or hands up, is this something you want to continue with? And then if the person's body is reacting and they want to go through with what their body is feeling, yeah man, the vibe go dead and it's gonna be explosive. Because I'm not saying everybody's been in a situation like that where, especially if it's you know, angry, and you feel like that you have that little heightened emotion to it, it's gonna make it feel a little bit more elusive. So you're gonna feel like you want the person a little bit more. The desire is gonna be there. So if you hear no from and that's what I was saying, if you hear no from the person, it's hands up. Is this what you want? And if it's what you want, you take it. Because then it's giving that person the choice to do it. But if the person is saying no, but you're still a guan in your body, and then them giving to them body, them are gonna regret it at the end of the day, because
Not necessarily.
they may regret it at the end of the
They'll
day
say
because
no, but
they
a lot of
said,
people want to stand on values and they just cannot. A lot. Listen. The only
but
time
then
we really listen. The
what's
only
wrong with
time we
stopping
really
and
stand
saying, is
on
this something that you want to
the only
continue with?
time we really stand on values and when no means no is when it's somebody we really don't like. Once we don't like them, no mean no. Can
And
I know?
they can't change you, no,
Once you
don't.
like somebody, you will say no, but deep down in your heart, you know, so if them push you, you're gonna turn that no into a yes. You flex all your standards once you really like someone. So that is pretty much that, and where as it relates to even not communicating a yes with your mouth, but your body language is communicating yes. As somebody that you know, somebody that you're used to will take that as a yes, because I'm sure that maybe in the past there has been many times when you've said no, but your
Exactly.
no was a yes.
Exactly.
But
That's why I'm saying, Stacey, it's not somebody that you're not familiar with.
Mhm.
You would have known this person
But that's
over
when
a
you're in the
period of
relationship
time.
with them, right?
Right. So
But I'm
therefore,
saying, if now you're
when them I
outside
tell
of
us
the
say no, when them I
relationship.
tell us say no, no, well, no, when them I tell us say no, you're not a stranger to that response.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I mean? So it's not like that would be the first time that you got that type of reaction. But I just kind of was just making the point about being that we were talking about the chemistry and the emotion. That's why I made that draw that as a reference point. But this is of somebody who would have been familiar. It's not like a total stranger where, you know, if you don't know them temperament, you don't know nothing about them as it really, particularly as it relates to that type of thing.
But remember, you're also gonna have to get them to know them now outside of their relationship, because now you guys are no longer in a relationship. So now, because you are not in a
Yeah, no, but well,
relationship,
that's a totally different thing now you're talking about. You know that, right?
they've had a past reaction to a way that you guys probably started a situation or probably started a session, now that you're out of that situation, you cannot keep going into it with the same understanding of when you guys are in a relationship, because the understanding of it is now this is just something that you guys are doing to fulfill the physicality of your desires. You're
You
not
know, I
fulfilling
understand,
the
but no, but then
emotional
again,
side.
I wasn't particularly referring to a particular situation in the sense that identifiably say that, well, then we got back together, sort of a thing. You know, it doesn't that wasn't the one, that wasn't the point. You know, in saying, boy, okay, what do you do when somebody come back to you? Them left for a month and then come back. No, I wasn't attaching it to any particular situation. We were specifically talking about chemistry and emotion. So that was the one of the basis and the foundation and
Yes,
the end,
and
the
we
beginning
were
and the end
saying
of the
that
whole argument. Right, right,
you
right,
can't you can't control chemistry, like the reaction I said you can, and you said, well, you know people that can
right,
control chemistry,
right.
and I
So there
said
was no
to act
overarching circumstances
on
under which that
chemistry
happened.
is a choice. When you act on something, you are making a conscious decision. And you guys were saying it's not a conscious decision. And I'm saying it is. To act on something is you deciding to do it. Nobody never held a gun to your head and said, "Boy, we are gonna do this now."
Well,
It's you.
no, but you may be right. But what we're saying is that sometimes, because it is not, there are other factors that influence that choice, which namely now becomes chemistry. You make it faster, and you make it more random, and you probably make it even more irrational. That's all we're saying. So we are not saying that choice is absent. But we are saying that what motivate that choice varied, and therefore the tendency. Say in other words. Let me give you an let me try to say. Say for example, you're going to have a total different response to somebody who you don't have a chemical connection with, even when you make it a conscious choice, as opposed to say somebody you have a chemical connection with, even though when you
100%.
have a choice at the same way.
100%. But
Right.
you now knowing that, okay, so with that same
Pick
logic,
up yourself,
Michael,
Debbie.
with that same logic, right? If this was somebody that you had no chemistry with, you could say no and stand on your no, right? Because say no, no matter if them say please, 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 and them tweak yourself and I rub you down, you still know say the no is a no, right? Because you made that choice now that no is your no, and you gotta stand on that. And now if there's somebody that you like, right? And the chemistry is there, and you decide now to go all the way with that person, you can't say, oh boy, our chemistry make me do it. No, you chose to do that. You can't blame it upon chemistry, because you knew that you liked the person brought this proposition to you, and it was a choice you made to act on it.
All right, so hold
And
on.
that's
No,
what
no,
I'm
no, no,
saying.
no. No, hold on. No, what we're saying, Stacey, to say you necessarily blame it on chemistry would be talking in sort of a way in isolation. What we're saying, chemistry influence your choices. And I'm saying that's why I ask you the question, what percentage on a rate of 1 to 10, what role do you say chemistry plays? And if you want to say making a decision, you could want to say that. But me and Stacey believe that sometimes logic goes out the door, and logic is what helps you to make choices. So I mean, but you probably take a different perspective, which is fine. I mean, you have to talk based on your experience. So we were saying that logic goes out the door, chemistry take over. So in that context, I was asking you on a
You
scale of one
choose
to
for
ten,
chemistry to take
how would you
over.
rate? Nope. Nope.
Yes.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Oh my God.
Nope.
Oh my
Nope. So hold on a second. Hold on. Let me show you something. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I'm not disagree. Hold on. No. Let me tell you why I'm not agree with you. Hold on, Stacey. Let me tell you why I'm not agree with you. Are you attracted to every man? Every type of man?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. I didn't hear
No.
you. I
Are
didn't
you
hear you, Michael.
attracted to
Sorry.
all type of men?
You can be attracted to more than one man.
No, no,
You
no, no,
can
no.
choose.
No, hold
You
on.
can choose
Stacey,
to
Stacey,
act
Stacey,
on it.
Stacey, 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 listen to a message, man. Are you attracted to a specific type of man, or you have several type of man? Let me ask you the question a different way. The person that is there a specific type of man that you are sexually attracted to, just readily? You not have to know them, not know nobody, but you just find them sexually appealing. Is that a specific type of man? Is there a specific type of man that you have that feeling towards?
What do you mean?
That's the question you're asking, Michael. Is you have some men who once you see them as a woman, you somewhat give them a once over. You don't know them, but you have to look at them again, like they spark something in you. So, for example, depending on what you are attracted to as a woman, you might see a guy. His physique looks really good. You can see that him work out, and then you go past him and him have on a really nice cologne. Yeah, give him a once over, because immediately your attraction goes up, as opposed to you pass one next one, him not look like nothing, and you just keep your head straight, and even if him says pizza 100 times, you're not going to look back. So yeah, everybody has people out there who cause them to double back or look twice, just like a lot of women. Men
But
see
do
them
you
pass
act
and
on
them look
everybody
around.
you look back at? Do you act on everybody that you double back with?
Oh, you get that? Oh, you reach
And
that
he's
But
point,
that's
not,
what I'm
Stacey.
that
saying.
was
It's a
never the
choice. Chemistry is a
question.
choice, guys. That's what I'm
Oh,
literally.
you
You
reach
are
a choice and
literally,
you just him just ask a question. You don't even know where he's going with the question. He says it's a choice. He just asked
because
one
you cut
question
him
that was
off.
answered.
But that's what when he okay, to your question, Michael, yes, you could be attracted to more than one person or more than one type of person, right?
No, but that's not that I ask you.
What was the question? I want to make sure I answer it correctly. What
But
was
the
the
thing is,
question?
Stacey, if here's part of communication. If I ask you something and you're not clear, then what the natural response should be for ask for clarification. But anyway, that's a point.
I thought I was clear on what you were saying, so because
Right.
I'm
Well,
not
you see,
understanding,
you
please to
respond in a
clarify
way
it
that
for me.
your response give me the indication, give me the impression that you didn't understand. But anyway, forget
So
about that.
please clarify
What
it
I'm
for me.
saying, so my question was, and it was very specific and direct. Is there a
Okay,
specific,
direct it now. Direct it.
is there a specific type of men that you find sexually appealing, or you want to say attractive?
But what is I don't understand that. What do you mean if there's a certain type of man? Like
All
black
right,
man, white man, what do you
pause a
mean?
minute,
What do you
pause a minute.
mean?
All right, pause a minute, Stacey. Ali, is there a
Huh?
specific type of man that you find sexually appealing?
Definitely, of course.
You get to me and say now, Stacey. That wasn't
Okay.
all that difficult,
So
right?
if it is one person that you find sexually appealing, right? If there's twins, right, Ali, you find the two of them equally attractive.
Yeah, but I'm
Y'all
talking
gonna
about
act on the
character.
two
I'm
of
talking
them?
about character, Stacey. Character.
But
You must have
guys,
some
that's what
type
we're
of
talking
characteristic. And
about.
Stacey, as Holly was trying to point out to you, I mean, detailing it. She talk about physique,
Yeah, but when
smell.
man say like if it
That
just
was
attract to
detailing.
someone, like you have
Right.
a specific person who does say me now, me like fat woman. If me say a fat woman and she look good, it's something like yeah,
You look
yes.
twice. You look again. Yeah. You make sure you
Yeah,
look
like
good.
I say, yo, and then, you know,
And in your mind, yeah.
it get like a tingling, basically.
But just because you have a tingling, Papa Ray, are you gonna act on every tingling you feel?
No, you're not gonna act to,
And
but
that's what
it
I'm
does have say,
saying.
it does spark you, like, if, so what if the person
Yes. You can
what if
have
you're the person?
chemistry. You can feel things for people. That's what I was saying. The actual chemistry part of it, yes, you can have chemistry for people. You can see people on the road and say, whoa, and you feel a little urge to them. But to act on chemistry is a choice, and it is a conscious choice that
Chemistry,
you
because I
make.
think you're mixing up chemistry with attraction, and attraction is where we're at.
You know,
What is
Stacey, you remind me
Even to act on chemistry is a choice, guys.
when I was going to
Yeah,
when I was
but
going to
Whatever
high
you
school, you
guys are
see.
telling me, it is a choice
No,
because
Stacey, let me get
yes.
something. When I was going to high school, you see, I went to KC. We always after immaculate girls, I mean, 'cause you know, see them always pearly white and pretty clean. You see, most of the time, most of them, when you put certain argument to them, I say, no, Lord Jesus, how you ever said that to me? That on week 1, week 2, I must say, man, what you said to me, you know? Week 3, I must say, me know why you broke me out, you know?
Michael, you worn them down.
Week
You
4,
wear
no,
them
what do you
down.
mean me wearing them down? I'm not, but what
If 1 week
but is there a
them
choice?
say
Go back
no
to
put
your
that
thing.
to
Is
me,
there
and
no
then
no
the
no no?
next
Well, I
week
know,
yeah,
well, I know.
and then
Stacey,
slowly
Stacey,
come down. You're
it's their
wearing them
choice.
down,
Stacey,
but
Stacey,
they
we're a
have
school
the
student.
attraction
We're
to
a
you
cool
and the
student,
chemistry to
Stacey.
you.
And no, Stacey, it's their choice,
I'm not
Stacey.
wear them
For
down,
your
yeah.
word. It's their choice, Stacey. It's their
It that's
choice.
what
For your
I'm okay.
word.
You said
Right. So
the
right.
key thing, it's their choice.
Right. So right. I'm saying to you now. I'm just kind of get at the point I'm making that week 3, them I say, man, you broke me out, you know. Week 4, them I say, me nah come at your yard, you know. You get the drift. Right. So
Yes.
I'm just
And
saying
then
that you
it
take
finally
this
gets to the
right,
point where we
right,
link up and
right,
we hook up
right,
and
right, right,
yes.
right, right. No, if that person wasn't attracted to you, you see week 1, you wouldn't get into week 2, you know. Much
It
even
wouldn't
free to
even
for
go
week 3,
there.
precisely. So,
Exactly.
right. I
So
was
for
just
to even get there,
painting
it
this
was a
scenario
choice.
to make the point that we are making about how attraction works and how different people respond to it, their reaction to it. Right? It's not that same girl not attracted to you, just that she probably put a position that, you know, oh, some women them say play hard, forget.
Yeah,
Ultimately,
so
she knows that she going to
yes,
give to
but
you, but she had
a
put
lot
a
of times
postpone the time.
when women operate like that, where the choice comes in is that they're choosing to pretend as if they're not interested when the chemistry
Exactly.
kill them. That is where
Exactly,
choice
Stacey.
comes in, and pretending, choosing to
Exactly.
pretend like I don't want you. Come on, no, no, up next week, I book your same place again.
Ex-
And you try come on to me again. To make it
Yes.
no, I'm not interested. I want to go, me can't think about nothing. But when me I go see you again, I may choose to
Ali,
behave as if I'm not interested.
Ali,
There's
what
one
you're
thing a woman
describing
can
is
never lie. What?
flirtation. What
There's
you're
one thing,
describing is flirtation. If the
Stacey.
girl said to you, boy, go from your so go with that, go with that, go with that, and then cross you, you're not gonna come with week 2 because you already don't know where them stand. But if them a say, boy,
I know
no,
so the
not
real work,
talk to me like
Stacey.
that, you're gonna try again because say, wow, she's smiling, she's keen to eat with me. Me go try
Stacey.
again.
Stacey, I know
Yes.
so the real world works, Stacey. Let me tell you something. Women speaks more with her body language than she says with her mouth.
Yeah, that is true. And it's subtle hints, because we're as human beings, we're doing, subtle hints. And sometimes without
A
even
woman
true
said,
speaking,
that because the woman we just did it, she want you to touch China. And you did it, no want to China. And the moment you touch her, she just lean into you, you know.
But like I said, I
But
tell
she'll
her,
play hard.
tell us as a verse on this thing. A woman will send you a million messages with just her eyes alone.
I promise you guys, it's a choice she's doing to send you those signals.
Yeah,
It is a
I
choice.
agree.
If
Okay.
she did not want you, she would make that very clear too. Because there is no way, if there's a man out there that I'm not attracted to and I don't feel anything for, him can ever think say I'm gonna go put talks to me and it's gonna go past to a
So, all
certain
right,
level.
what causes you to respond to one as opposed to the other?
The chemistry.
Okay. Yeah,
The
You
okay.
said it's a
attraction,
choice.
the
You
chemistry.
said
It
it's a
is a
choice
choice to
earlier. You said
act
a
on it,
choice earlier,
guys.
Stacey. Stacey, you said
Sorry?
a choice earlier. You said
What
she's
do you
making a
mean?
choice to respond to the guy
But
that
that's what
she
I'm saying.
likes.
It is a choice to respond to the chemistry that you feel, guys. You don't have to act on every chemistry feeling that you feel. And if you choose to, which is your right to, it is a choice that you make.
Okay. Hold on, Stacy. You go up in Jamaica?
No, I grew up in Canada.
Okay.
That's why I'm like, I'm
I
literally going
get
crazy.
exactly.
I'm literally
I
going
get
crazy because I'm like,
exactly the type
because
of
in
culture
everything
that
that
you
you guys
have
are
that would
saying,
probably, yeah. I
in
probably
everything,
I can
listen, I've
understand where
gone
you're
to
coming from.
Jamaica every summer from I was a little pitney.
No, that's a
My
different
parents used to
experience.
go to Jamaica.
That's a different. No,
And
me growing up in Jamaica and visiting Jamaica is two totally different
yes, you're
experience.
100% right. You're 100% right. But what I will say is, do you think if I don't want to entertain somebody, they can come to me this week and next week and then the next week?
Yeah, we
That
man
it
killing them, the man
nago,
different, you know.
that
You have to
naga
not
work, that
tongue.
naga come to me with that. I don't care how many you could from the first time. If I'm not interested, I'm making that very known. And if I'm interested and I want to play hard to get, then I'm gonna send you those signals, the little flirtation, the little giggle, the little boy stop, the little you know when you want to play hard to get, but you still want them to try. You're not really doing too much, but you're doing just enough for them to feel like, let me try again. That is a choice to be flirtatious with the person. And then if you do see somebody and you're like, you know what, me really do want it to go to our next level, and you feel the chemistry and the chemistry is there, popping fireworks, all of that, and you choose to act on that, that is a choice. And that's what I'm saying, telling you guys. It's not, I'm not trying to say that chemistry is the only thing that is dependent on a situation, but I'm saying for it to get to that point, you have to make a decision to act on it. Because then, if you, what you're saying is, because you're out there and you feel chemistry for somebody, you're going to act on it because of chemistry. You never had no choice in it, a chemistry. So you just, your body wanted it, your body went for it. And then that's why I'm saying it becomes a character flaw, because then you don't have self-control. Because if you have self-control, you'll say, you know what? Just because I have chemistry for this person doesn't mean I'm going to act on it. Because, say you really want to deal with this person.
And whenever you are interacting with people that you care about, I think what you have to do is to, because at some point when you're around that person, logic will go away and emotions will overtake and overpower everything else. Anything, any choice or decision that's going to be made have to be made in the initial stage. So if that person invite you out and say, oh, you want to come over for Netflix and chill, so to speak, then you have to, from your yard, when you hang up, say, me not going, that's the only choice or decision you probably will be able to make logically.
And
The
guess
minute you
what?
put on
If
your
you
clothes and
don't
tell
go,
yourself, say, me I go over there and me now nothing not go happen, I just go watch TV and come back over. You already put yourself in a position for emotion take over once you step out the door and step in where that person is. Because at that point, your logic and your decision making skills gone through the door. So any decision and choice you're going to make usually have to start with before you even get into a position where no emotions are going to be on the rise, and you won't be able to, you're conflicted, your emotions and like your heart and your mind on two different balance, on two different ends of the balance. You can't make a sensible decision because the whole chemistry and the feelings are what are taking precedence at that point. So I understand about choice and decision, but it don't always apply to any situation It usually applies when you're in the state to make it consciously, like your emotions are on a low. But once your emotions start to rise, meaning you're in the situation, you're in the position for stuff happen, and chances are it will happen, then you'll find that your emotions will take over. The only case where that might not happen is if you probably absolutely resent that person and your feelings already, your attraction level is really low for them, like maybe below 50%, even probably below 30, and you know that regardless of how them push, you won't get into it. But if you have an attraction level of maybe over 50%, you can make a conscious decision to go and have no conversation with the person, knowing where it might lead, and think you're going to leave as you went. No, it don't work like that. At some point in time, emotions will take over. You have to not put yourself in the position for it to happen. You have to consciously say, you know, I'm not gonna make him inveigle me to go up on a date. I'm not gonna make him encourage me to come to my yard. I'm not gonna this, I'm not gonna that. It's as simple as that, because once you go there, you're not in a position to make no more decision, and you not have no option of making a choice. Your feelings now control you. Yes, in the back of your mind, you might not want to do something. Yes, with your mouth, you might have said no. But your body is doing something different from what anything you're saying. And what he's reading is your body language at that time.
From you, like you're to what you're saying. From the attraction is over 50%, and
Well,
you
on the
put on your
guys, sorry for
clothes. You be
pausing a little there. Sorry for pausing now. Happy Father's Day to the real fathers, them on the line, like myself. Come, I just realize our Father's Day. I mean, I ask you if 2 money gun to help protect the fragment. That's all me I look for Father's Day for now. 2 money gun from 2 nice viewers. I make we get it up to 100,000 guys. This is a milestone. Okay? Yeah, if somebody asleep and wake up and I come in little by little, so you don't know, say, I'm still a play a part. Good discussion, guys. Yeah. Continue. 2 money gun, guys.
okay.
Hit up the screen, please.
Happy Father's Day, guys. Happy Father's Day to all the
Yeah, happy
real good
Father's
fathers out there.
Day.
Day. On
Happy
here, we
Father's
have
Day.
kids, all the good fathers.
Or if you play a fatherly role in somebody's life and you don't have
Yeah.
kids, we're
Big
wishing you
up
happy
yourself.
Father's Day as well.
Big
Make
up
sure I
yourself.
call my father in the morning before I'm going to him feelings, as they like me call him.
Yes, but Ali, to what you were saying, if the attraction is over 50%, and you get up and you bathe and you put on your color, your nice little smell good, and you go to this person's house, right? You have already made up in your mind, make him try a little something, and I'm giving him some.
Not
Right or wrong?
necessarily, well, yeah, that's
Right
what
or
I'm
wrong?
saying. That's what I'm saying, Stacey. Once you
Because you
leave
made
your
the choice
yard,
in
you
your
know
head
you are left
already.
for. No,
You
sometimes you
already
tell
made the
yourself,
choice up already.
sometimes you tell yourself, say, me I got this and me I got that. And once you left your yard, you know exactly what you are going to do. So when you reach and I say, no, ain't nobody listening to your nose. Especially when you're probably your body language is saying something completely different from what your mouth is saying. You know, so that you put somebody in a difficult position, and if anything ends afterwards, and usually if anything ends afterwards, I don't think it's a big deal where you're going to like curse the person. I think it's just that you're going to learn to stay away, because you're going to learn that around that person you have no self-control. Things are going to happen if you go around them, so you are not going to put yourself in a position where things are going to happen. And like for me personally, me know all the whole said as women we're extremely emotional. Me try to be extremely cautious with everything and just make sure say any this at this point it would have looked careless to me come on and relate certain stories to my friend them, and I tell them say, no, say that just don't make no sense. As a grown adult, I have to kind of understand, say you make certain decisions when you're conscious, when you're in your right mind, and not when you're in a one you're put in a situation where you're going to act out of emotions. I
You
just
know how
thought,
much time interaction I have a girlfriend, and you know you say, say me come over, she probably in her feeling, come where as a matter of fact me not there, as a matter of fact me let out the dog them, as a matter of fact me lock up the grill them, go over there, you see how fast the grill them open.
Where are they? Me just come for something.
Where are they? Me not tell you say you never come over. At the same time, me grill I hope man a push, right? And you go in. Make sure say you not stay long, talk where you talk so fast, right? Give her hour too. The whole atmosphere change. So, I mean,
But okay, so Michael, what
mhm.
you're saying is her trying to play hard to get, is what it sounds like from what
Well, I
you're
wouldn't say
saying.
no like that.
But
Point. It would be my woman.
it's
It's just
not
that we
that
had
she
a problem
doesn't
with disagreement.
it's
No,
not
no,
that
no. I'm
she's
talking
it's
about
not
my
that
woman, and I'm
she's
not somebody I'm trying to. No, no, no. I'm not talking about somebody that I'm trying to get a
no,
relationship.
but Michael, that's what I'm saying. It's not that she doesn't want you to be there. It's that she wants you to work for it, is what it sounds like you're saying.
Right.
Because
But if I listen to her, if
if
I
she
listen
said
to
no,
her,
don't come over, right? And she lock up grill and everything, and you go over there, Shaga said, talk what you talk through the grill. She now go open up the grill. So from you go there, so she say, all right, he put little effort in, let me open up the grill and see what I say. And then she probably want you for work a little bit more, to put in a little bit more effort. That's what it sounds like you're saying. But if she in her mind says, listen, me no want to hear so, hell and high water, the key day in the house, the grill not open. No matter if you're out there shaky grill, the grill not open.
yeah,
Because
but
she done
most
make up in her
time,
mind,
You know
say,
what?
you not come in here.
I came upon a post on Instagram recently where a wife was saying that she literally called her husband, cuss him out, tell him not to call her phone, then put the phone down, waiting on him to call. And if he doesn't call, she's gonna be mad. And all the other women and wives start commenting the things they do to get their spouse's attention. And it's everything we've been talking about, saying no or doing something and expect the opposite from the man, because we expect them to do the opposite of what we say. And maybe that is why when we're saying no to them, they think it's a yes. Right? Maybe that's why I want to say no. They think it's a yes because we usually say something, but because if you tell him don't call you back and then him not call you back, now you're really gone in your feelings because you expect him to really call. Right? So when we say no, sometimes we really mean yes. I'm not saying in every case, guys, please do not get me wrong, because certain things I do not endorse, but pretty much that is maybe the reason why you see certain things happen. Because when we say no, sometimes we possibly mean yes, or there's a chance. 'Cause me tell her no, but me come over your yard.
no, are you up on the phone? The classic one. You're up on the phone. All right. But I want to talk to you. Bet you hang up on me now. Hang up on me. Bet you hang up on me. And you hang up on him. I might tell you say no. I hang up. Go on about your business. Me know I ain't not more from you. You hang up. Less than a minute in call back. Oh. So you don't want to talk to me no more. You find new woman. I just saw. But you understand the thing there. You
You're right.
understand the thing there's a man, you know.
I stand
Who
on
is
what I
coming
said.
from a different perspective?
You, Ali.
Oh, but
You,
that
Ali.
is in response to what comment?
No, to in the comments in the chat. But no, I was saying I stand on what I was saying by acting. The actual act on to act on chemistry is a choice. And the more you mature, you don't act on chemistry as much because you realize that listen, acting on chemistry not gonna get you nowhere. Because right or wrong for the to the chat and the people that are on the line, as you grown throughout your life, when you were younger, you probably couldn't control your chemistry as much. That's why I'm kind of shocked, Michael, you're saying you can't control your chemistry. Because for me, when I was younger, sure, I used to feel like, oh, feel a little thing. Let me go and see what happens. But now I'm like, just because you're attracted to somebody or you feel a chemistry for somebody doesn't mean you need to act on it. Like to commit the act, it would have been a conscious choice I'm making.
Well, I'm not sure if I take the positions, accept it total as what you say still, but I mean,
When you were
you could
younger,
be
when you
heading,
were
you could be
younger,
heading, you could be, no, no, I mentioned that there are specific type of women, they are very rare, not the everyday one that you see on the street either. They just have this thing about them where I just see them, you don't want to ask no question. And
but do
then
you act on
not
that?
necessarily have to be, no, well,
Do you
me
act
never,
on it every time you feel it?
if me get the chance, better act on it.
Okay,
But me
but
never get the chance to
if you
act on
got
it.
the
But that's in my
exactly,
mind. I
So
mean,
if the
maybe,
woman
maybe,
had
maybe,
given, if
maybe,
every
maybe,
woman
maybe
that
in
you've
the
seen
middle
that
light, I say,
for,
but maybe in the middle light, I say, but how am I do?
hmm.
But that's not my initial response.
So Michael, if every woman gave you the opportunity to act on it, you would act on it, right?
Stacy.
Yes or no?
Some man
Stacy,
probably yes.
Exactly. That would
Probably
be
don't
the
want to say
choice
it.
that you make. That would
Stacy,
be the
Stacy,
choice you make,
Stacy,
Michael.
Stacy,
Nobody would have
Stacy,
held a gun to your head and said, Michael, take this.
Stacy, Stacy. I
And you know what's
said,
funny though about
Stacy,
chemistry
I said a
is,
specific type of woman, Stacy. A
you know what's
specific
funny
type of
about
woman.
chemistry, guys? Chemistry is not necessarily something good, you know. Chemistry is telling you that this is a dangerous path you're treading. The whole chemistry and the butterflies thing is not something good. But don't take my word for it. You can just go ahead and look it up for yourself what chemistry is. But the chemistry is not necessarily a good thing to have. And with relationships built on chemistry are not necessarily the best relationships because I'm always attached to the feeling of like indulgence, and then once that's missing there is not much left. That's why you find when two people with chemistry meet up, them usually go at it,
And
and
then
then
it
them
fizzle out.
yeah, and them not have no connection
Exactly.
apart from that, but every time they meet up them can go at it because they just have this
Exactly.
strong chemistry and this strong sexual
Because
attraction to each other.
chemistry is just using your bits and your heart. That's it. There's no head involved. But you see, the logic part, which is you're using your brain, when you use your brain, you're not gonna jump on every chemistry that you see and every fire that you see just because you see it and you say, "Whoa, me would I do that?" You're not gonna jump on everything because you're gonna use your head and you're gonna say that is not logical. But to just get up and act on chemistry, I'm telling you, nobody who has grown and lived in this society is going to do that as a grown, matured somebody. That is stuff that immature children, or I'm not going to say children, young adults who are learning their bodies for the first time and getting used to hormones and the different changes and cycles that go through their bodies, that is for them to make those mistakes and errors to jump at every single opportunity that comes to them, because as we grow we know so not every smile is a smile, and just because them look good on the outside no means that them good on the inside. So just because the chemistry is there don't mean so you're gonna act on it. And if you are only acting on chemistry, you are making a conscious choice to act on chemistry.
No, all right. What's this?
Mega
I
jump
mean,
down because there's somebody else that wants to there's somebody else that wants to join the box, so I'm gonna jump down.
all right. But let me say something. Well, first of all, Ali mentioned something about chemistry. Well, here's the thing for me with chemistry. I don't see it as necessarily bad or good. What I would say is that you should exercise emotional intelligence and be guided by the wisdom of your experiences. So you are going to use those two factors to guide you to say emotionally, with emotional intelligence you can suppress it, and with from the wisdom of your experience you can make better choices. But I don't think in and of itself it's necessarily a bad thing, quote unquote. I mean, that's just my opinion.
All
But
right.
I just said something to Stacey. I mean, you want to put chemistry in isolation. I mean, we are creatures of habit, Almost every woman nowadays, I mean, a big percentage of them wear a certain type of tights that tell you all about their wherever you want to see. And they almost wear the same hairstyle, them go for all sorts of thing, them paint up them nails and all of that sort of thing. So you hardly see the authentic. So I mean, where do you really draw the line? So, chemistry is pretty much fall right in that pot.
All right, guys. Look like we're done here, so now,
No
that
yet, Damian.